Yeah, I think, yeah, well, I mean, you know what it's like going to the mechanic there.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Well, I know you wouldn't because I had to tell you about something with your truck the other day, didn't I? Oh, okay, all right then, all right. No, thanks stuff there, guys. I know we're going into OT here now.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we're gonna send it over to the big boys.
All right, big boys, see you. I'll see everybody at the green screen.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I don't want to ever go to
green screen.
No mechanics. Apparently, my car just needed a boost, so it was all good.
Yeah,
so.
that's
why I'm now a CAA member, and thank you for the boost. So we get away with basically no fee. Really.
Yo, Ramin is the biggest like proponent or salesperson for CAA ever. Like Ramin spent like a good 5-10 minutes selling. I mean, you were already going to do it, but
oh yeah, we were talking about it live.
Like she was really selling.
President Trump apparently now trying to make that announcement we just heard in our ear about nuclear energy. Actually, I didn't get out of any SMR. What the hell? I forgot about doing that. I had to return a baseball bat. 29.59. So we'll just see what happens. I mean, hopefully the announcement is what we all expect it to be. Some more funding for the space and a focus on nuclear and nuclear energy. So we'll see, man. There's all the names. Thank you for coming back over to the show. We don't want to just necessarily start and talk about all the same names that these guys were doing. All right, but I'm in AMD. So we've just been shorting this one off this top. Again, it looks like we're getting a top wick there. We got stopped out once on this trade. Short there was great into the 50 period. Short again, stopped. Short again, maybe stopped soon. But I'm going to take another piece out right now I just bid 50, and then, of course, it turns around. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing about this market is sometimes you put out liquidity there, and it sees you and runs away. But, okay, we're just going to start to cap out of this a little bit here, tap out of it, as it might be capped out down here, up here at 110.50. AMD about to turn green, right? So, Oracle going to be buying $40 billion worth of NVIDIA chips, NVDA. Have I ever heard of that symbol before? NVDA. All right, so there it is.
Yeah, NVIDIA.
Okay, so popping, dropping. This is not going to be good for my AMD position, that is for sure, because again, you know, if more players are coming into the space right now, not more players, but Oracle wants to put some more money, some CapEx into the space. I mean, just a matter of time, obviously, before AMD catches some wind as well, as other companies will start to justify, you know, putting more spend into this space. Remember, it's not just a tariff situation that we talk about, what's going on with China, this and that. We still need these hyperscalers to put money in.
Yes. Keep putting money in.
Yeah, exactly. Keep putting money in. We got a good news the other day from Elon that was talking about $30 billion worth. Now we get a $40 billion comment in our ear here from ORCL. Apparently, there we go. They're 400,000. GB200, so the bigger one. So, okay, so that's going to be good, obviously, there for NVIDIA. Maybe not so, I mean, maybe we got it, maybe we're right here. Maybe it's a bad story for AMD because Oracle giving their business over to NVIDIA. So we'll just see how that plays. There it is. We just took out a 50 right there. We'll see how it plays, but we're only going against the high right there. If we break through, I think my stop is literally 71, which would be the high. So if we break through that, then pi, not the pie that Joe likes, but the pie on my face right there, if it goes against me. It looks like it's starting to come back up to the upside.
Joe only likes the best.
Well, yeah, it's not an apple pie kind of guy. I got to get into the chat. I'm not even in the chat right now. Nasdaq made a top wick there. We'll see if we can withstand just another out there at 50 as I get more nervous about this position. But, hey, man, nervous hands all day today. I've had over 200 trades. So. Let's wait to see what winds up happening. No, I'm not flat. There we go. We have AMD on the position.
So when they flip it over, you have to take a fill, and then it updates there.
Over.
I'm over. Look, Oracle's not really moving on that, but I'm back into Intel off this high. Like one of the few, like it's down 2%. The market's down half. It hasn't come close to the morning highs, at least to the 20 quarter. So I played it into that wick, and we'll hold on to it. I'm in that Gorv. What the heck was the name of that company? It's like they should have been, Lazy Days Holdings. That's that penny stock. It's well under VWAP. I don't know if we'll get another crack at it, but I got to zoom in here so you can see. Like I was in down here on a lower high, kind of like a bit of a chase trend break, got out, and then I'm going to play it off of that high. I just wicked out on the NVIDIA news, but jumped right back in. So I'll give it to the local top. But I just looked over. NVIDIA, now it's starting to go. That was a big reversal. Like the algos, it's almost like they didn't know what to do with it, and they reversed it right back into 132. But now it's starting to hold the 32 level. So this is an NVIDIA, not Oracle story, in my opinion. So if you're long Oracle, let me just double check. I don't want to have said that and all of a sudden Oracle is now moving when it wasn't 2 seconds ago. Load, PC load letter. Oh yeah, okay, now it is going. All right, so it wasn't now Oracle's also going here, so it seems like that is going to be a bit of a breakout play. But I'd rather go over to NVIDIA. We've seen this the last couple of days be somewhat strong, at least relative to the market. There was the dump at the end of the day yesterday after the big trend up, but it still got to the high of the day yesterday before it did it. I was shorting the 131 level, the prior low, with some degree of success until the last trade. But now we're going to go for the dip buy. Into the 132 on NVIDIA. The chips seem to be breaking out at this point on that news, so we'll see what happens if we can get back into the 132. Dr. Plankton says thoughts on CVNA.
Dr. Plankton?
Yeah. I'm like, Dr. Plankton?
Is that a
Isn't Plankton
SpongeBob?
just,
That might be a
but it's just Plankton. It's just Plankton.
Oh, is it?
He's not a doctor, is he?
I don't know.
My wife is oddly into SpongeBob, by the way. It's like she's always liked SpongeBob. But anyways, I haven't looked once at Carvana and CVNA. I'm gonna make the assumption maybe it is squeezing because like some of the other squeeze stocks have been going, but I haven't really looked at this one today. Wow, this is really slow. So you're trending back into the upside. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good breakout. Carvana's at highs. Oh goodness. Yeah, everything's fine here. Nothing to see here, everybody. Carvana's gonna break out the 52-week high, triple top right now. Like that's insane to me, but Carvana does lots of insane things. My thoughts are I cannot bring myself to want any part of Carvana at $311 on a breakout. It just seems a little bit much.
A little cringe.
Well, with everything that's going on, you're going to tell me that this is, I mean, it's a squeeze play, so I guess that's all it is, right? Like, you're not talking about the fundamentals here. It's just a pure squeeze. I don't remember off the top of my head how big the short float is right now, but it's always been relatively well-sized. But, yeah, volumes are really low today. One thing that I got reminded of, it being a long weekend, you have different levels of liquidity on certain things. So even a Carvana, which is breaking out, and look how strong it is going into that high. Like, look at the volume candle. Look, we're more than halfway through the day, and look at the volume candle that this stock has. Like, that's putrid. Like, that is horrible. Like, I know you haven't had the close yet, but on a day where, like, we're V-shaped recovery on big news, and you're running at the highs, and you're not really doing a heck of a lot of volume. So it's always a bit dangerous to chase frothy breakouts in a situation like this on low volume. So I'm going to stay away from Carvana. We can't get in the NVIDIA party. That's doing real volume.
Yeah, we got punched out of AMD there. AMD going to be a positive stock for us, obviously, at the end of the day, but we did get punched out. I've been trying to fight the short on the Nasdaq this whole time. We just now entered again. We've been doing good on it today. It's been fine. It's just trying to wait for a top tick here somewhere. We just going short here. We just went 0 for 2 actually on the shorts right there. That was a small piece that we held left over from the morning. So out there, now we're going to see about a top wick. I just think about heading into a Friday. I don't know. My thinking here, this is a day. I don't want the daily chart. That's too much. Here, I was just thinking into a Friday. Here's 67.50. So I'm going to try that. You know, there we got yesterday, made that move up. Actually, that's this morning into the 750 level. Move down there. That's yesterday's move down. You know, we could see a fade, you know, into the end of the day. I mean, I'm just thinking long weekend. But hey, the market looks like it wants to go higher. I mean, we're just tick, 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 tick all the way up, man. Like, this is that move we're just talking about. We're getting into some of this area of 21.1. We're at 21,000 right now on the Nasdaq. That's a pretty big level, right? So we'll wait to see if we want to break above some of these levels here. I'm going to go short until we do it. And yeah, let's see what winds up happening. It's going to have to punch your guy out. So we're right now at 67.60 or so as the top. Right into here is what I'm looking for this punch out. 67.71 or so for an out if we're going to be wrong on the Nasdaq here today. So yeah, man, we're going to be short right now. There's a lot of names to trade, and we want to thank everybody for joining the rundown, which is about to happen right now. You got to get involved in this early on the midday show. Start those votes, get going, and then we'll talk about whatever names you want. Probably maybe IMNN is on there. I'll show you what happened on that stock. Bitcoin maybe, NVIDIA.
Nuclear names maybe?
But there's one person that has the real answers to all of this, and that is Sharif at the big screen. Let's go.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys, to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The boys are locked and loaded on this long weekend, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to join Joseph and I on the midday show and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you've got to be a subscriber in order to vote and engage with us. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here's the first ticker. As decided by you, Apple. Big red candle in the pre-market as a result of Donald Trump taking to Truth Social and telling Tim Cook if he's told him once, he's told him 100 times he wants those iPhones built in the United States, at least the ones destined to be sold in the United States. And if they're not, they're going to be subject to 25%, boys. Market didn't like that.
100%, eh?
No, market don't like it at all. Whether it can happen or can't happen, we're saying this morning. Like it seems to not matter. It spooked the market, even if it seemed like it should have just been a direct Apple thing. It ended up spooking everything. The crazy thing about Apple is, for all the frustration, it ends up actually holding 197, that's what the frustrating part of all this is. The early short on Apple was terrible, but then once it settled down off 197, it's been pretty good. Like into an up market, into an upward trending market, it's been making lower highs into a flat bottom at about, call it like 195.5 or so. So yeah, there's relative weakness, but that slingshot at the open, it's just that first 5 minutes. If it starts going counter trend, like you're in a trend break, you almost have to allow it to make some kind of a topping tail and then jump in to the shorts. So 97 still seems like it's going to be the level. On the overall look for Apple, this was bleeding before yesterday, or so before this morning. It's underneath that 50 period. That $200 level got lost as well. So you lost like two major key support areas, and then I guess you're bouncing off this 195 for now, but it looked bearish to me on Apple underneath the $200 level. It was just a matter of being not patient enough with the 97. Because, if you're making lower highs off a resistance level when the market's making higher highs, that means you kind of got it right and you should be up on it, but I'm not. And stinks. It could be down, whatever. It's just, it's frustrating and almost should still be in this trade. But with the market trending higher, you shouldn't compromise and should let it get back up to that high and make another retest before getting in. Like the last thing you want to do is FOMO away from resistance here on Apple. I certainly like, depending on, what other Mag 7 you want to call it, I think a lot of people are going to start to prefer other Mag 7 names over Apple the way things have been going in the news for them. I like Meta over them. I like Amazon over them. I can't, NVIDIA, obviously, I wouldn't say, I don't know if I say that about Tesla. Does it even count anymore? And like Alphabet, that could go either way for me, but the other names, easily, I prefer to Apple right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way with all of this here. Market risk, okay. I'm trying to load up Financial Juice to have like another little service here for. So just on the news side of things, although Benzinga Pro's been pretty good. Okay, so we wrote the same kind of thing down here for Apple today. I just wanted the 196 area short. And the problem is that we basically started the day in that area right now. So yeah, this is a problem. We just got in and out there. We're going to be red on Apple today. We had a couple shorts, got stopped out. Like we get stopped out just before it comes down, but then it makes the high again anyways. So that high was 197.75. I mean, we're pretty lucky to get stopped. I mean, not lucky, but that's 197.30s stopped out. That's the last trade that we have on Apple. So yeah, I think it doesn't seem like it's strong today because it's down 2.5%, but hovering above these areas seems pretty strong to me. Like, we did have that worry early when we came in. That's why it was on the sticky note that, what's up with that? Like with 90% of their phones still being made in China, 10% trying to get those into India. If they onboard this or onshore them into the United States, it's going to be too expensive. Wall Street bull Dan Ives was talking about it costing, 30 billion, taking over 10 years to do that, so that iPhone, we keep on saying 3,500, but you can get, I was looking last night, I think the iPhone 16 Pro, I think if you get the 512 version, it's something like $1599 or something Canadian, which is very similar like the Samsung. The Samsung S25 is $1,500 as well. But anyway, still way too much money. But I'm just saying, even if you add 25% tariff to that price, and I'm not sure that's going to apply to Canada anyways, but that's the other thing. What do you think about coming into Canada to buy the phones, then taking them back into the United States?
That's going to happen.
I think that's going to happen there too, right? So maybe you can save some money doing that. Plus, you make the money on the exchange rate.
You know what you do? You wait for football season. Because I'll tell you this right now.
Buffalo Bills games.
Well, I'm just throwing this out there because not telling people to do this, but we had season tickets. You go across the border, you're in your Bills gear, and you've got your tickets on you. They literally didn't check jack.
I just think that I think it'll be obvious though.
I know.
It's not us they're worried about. It's Americans coming over.
I guess it's Americans come back,
Yeah,
but
it's the other way
Canadians, the Canadian Bills fans, it's just like whatever. Oh, you guys going to the game? Cool.
They just want to know how much beer do you have left?
No, we're good.
They're like,
we got nothing.
Yeah, they're like, okay, so how many? When did you get there? Okay, you got there at 9 a.m. You probably bought a case. How much could you drink? But I have to do a read right now. So have you ever entered an order to buy or sell, and the price you got filled completely different from what you expected? That is called, ladies and gentlemen, slippage. I can show you some examples. Slippage happens when you're trading on old or underpowered computers, and it costs traders a bundle. That's why our friends over at Easy Trading Computers created the complete guide to trading computers. This guide shows you exactly what technology you need to succeed as a trader and how to avoid slippage. Go ahead, scan that QR code or click the link in the description to get your copy of this guide. Again, that is easy. Type it in if you don't want to scan that. Easy Trading Computers. Type that in to make sure you got the right one. But again, a fantastic opportunity. I know Neil scanned that to read that over. We've heard Joe talk about that as well. Yeah. If you're going to set up your station, you may think you know everything. These guys have actually put the guide together, so we want to thank them for that. So make sure you go check it out. Easy Trading Computers. And then, hey, look, if you're running a quantum computer, then you probably don't have slippage issues right there. And if you've been running quantum stocks, you could probably afford yourself a nice little new computer. So let's go find out what Sharif's talking about here with quantum.
Was a take your pick kind of trade, Sean, whether you wanted to go QUBT, QBTS, IonQ, Rigetti, or GTI. They were all kind of running up, not identical, but they were all strong on the day. Here's a look at QBTS, up nicely on the day, 7.5%. D-Wave extending the rally as the momentum builds following, guys, the launch of their new quantum system. Separately this morning, we had QUBT striking a deal with South Korea.
Launching.
Yeah, so as Sharif said, it's a pick your poison kind of move, led by, to the most part, IonQ. Right. I want to say, and they're squeezing here. Now, ultimately, I think we all saw this unwind the last time. So all the levels that are these highs, whether you're in Cube, whether it's D-Wave's making some fresh highs. IonQ has yet to make its highs. But until this breaks out the absolute top, you got to be a little bit careful of the back end. It's only day 2 of the parabolic move, but this literally doubled quietly from this little double bottom here, 17, 18, 19. That doubled up and then went ham. Yeah, it's getting a little bit top heavy. I mean, candidly, I think I already mentioned that we sold some QBTS yesterday, 18 something, I believe. It's just, ringing the register is going to make a heck of a lot of sense to me. This did double top up here on QBTS, which is the one I have the eyeballs on. So VWAP held on a dime. Wish I could tell you I was long off VWAP, but I was short into VWAP on that play. But I'm going to look for this. You've double topped. If you put in this lower high here at that 1950, I think it's a little bit of a fade into the volume weighted average price.
All right, we're hearing some stuff now about Trump here. Talks to the EU are slow moving. He's not looking for a deal. That's good. All right, so, this is part of the art of the deal. Tell your people you're dealing with you're not looking for a deal, I guess. So here we go. But, He has numerous other deals ready to be signed, so he doesn't need to worry about
I got
EU,
others,
so
don't worry about it.
all right, well, okay. We'll throw our hands up in the air, but right now we'll go like that as well. Boeing. So Boeing and the U.S. Justice Department has apparently reached a deal, but when was this deal reached? So it's just being reported right now, so you're hearing it here first. Boeing, some kind of a deal right now.
No, but it's moving down.
Yeah, I was just worried a little bit about Apple. I just saw Apple.
Apple's tanking.
With a move.
Oh, it's not tanking. Well,
Trump also saying, so I just did this example again. He just said it's on all phones, including Samsung phones. So right there, I don't know how we trade that exactly, but maybe looking at FXI. This guy is going off right now. Trump is just hammering the EU. This guy's hammering China. He's hammering Apple.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no tariffs, obviously, if you build in the U.S. So, you know. Oh, right. Wow. Okay. Tim... We're hearing our ear that he doesn't care if you go to India or not. That's still tariff time. So yeah, it's not great right here. But look at the move down right now in the TQQs, right? We're short. We're all over this thing. It's tank city right now. All right. Yeah, same story about Trump. Okay, so you know what? Quantum names today. I don't really have anything that I traded. You guys know all about them. Let me just throw it back to Sharif. Yeah, we don't have to worry.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about the stories. I'm sort of covering it.
Yeah, Apple's dropping. It seems.
So, I mean, this is why Neil and I wanted Apple short in the first place.
So
I mean, it's just like now you just have to wait, you know, for Trump to speak, basically. The one thing about Trump that I have to 100% say, and we all know this, no matter your opinion of the guy or not, like he is really. Just like, you know, it's like, if it's not made in America, it's getting tariffed. Like that is the end of that story. And, you know, you feel a little committed. I don't know. I'm not American, but I think you would feel a little bit of pride sometimes in some of those talks because he is trying to, you know, bring back a lot of the jobs that were lost. And I don't know if the jobs of screwing in iPhone screws and all that kind of stuff is the right jobs to bring back, but he's doing it anyways. And who am I to say it's right or wrong? But, you know, America is doing what they're doing now, and it's led by their president who I voted in. So here we go, man. Get ready to rock and roll. It's a beautiful trade there to go short. Let's just see how short we do need to go. I'm now going to wait for VWAP, man. Let's see how bad this gets. $66 right there maybe for a bottom little play. So let's wait to see if that goes through. All right, Sharif's over there waiting. It's nuclear time.
Before we go to nuclear, this is live right now. Donald Trump in the Oval Office signing the executive order that we just spoke, or that we're going to speak about right now. The nuclear deal, obviously taking questions from reporters. That's where the Apple response came in. This is vis-a-vis Fox Business, guys. So Donald Trump live right now in the Oval Office taking questions, as you just saw. Here is OKLO is involved in this one all midday show. Did poorly on this one, but it's still up 23%, guys. Trump, as well as I just mentioned, sparking the uranium frenzy as a result of him saying that he's looking at regulatory changes so they can rely less on uranium brought in from Russia and China.
Yeah, and look, they're all gapped up and they're all super strong. They're actually holding up some of the best right now because not participating in this move down are the nuclear names, at least the ones that I'm looking at. I can really, well, I'm only looking at SMR. So if the other ones are going to the downside, I'd be surprised. My day got summed up this morning with like just probably the worst exit you're going to see today for myself. Don't usually, like, it didn't break the low of the day on that bottoming tail wick, but I put the stop order at the wrong price. So unfortunately, what should have been, well, obviously would have been my best trade, ends up in L. Got a couple of scalp trades off VWAP that were okay, and then now it's just gotten obscenely choppy on SMR. I don't see any good direction here. There's no obvious trend to play off of. The only thing that's obvious is $30 to the penny is holding on SMR. So the only thing I really see this, unless you get a really strong trend down that it can be reverted or a pullback into the volume weighted average price to test that, it's just a 30 break for me on SMR. And what about the others? Like I was sort of focused on like the one. Oklo, like if there's a 30 level to the upside resistance on SMR, OKLO is just bouncing off 48.5. It's wick bottoms underneath it, so it's like you have to give it a bit more, but it's got this interesting wall at 50. So it can't seem to break 50 even, while also bouncing off the volume weighted average price. So I do like SMR for a 30 break. If we get it, we get it. I'll probably stick with that one, but OKLO, kind of a similar pattern, where if you're looking for the break off the top, it would be the 50 level, but I'm gonna hit SMR at the 30, the one I've been watching all day.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the way trading's been going today. And I mean, just to look at some of the names, you want to look at the URA ETF. I'm just going to go call up something that maybe we haven't talked about too much in a while. We'll talk about it on the after show, but look what's been happening with this ETF. I mean, absolute fire since April, right? I mean, nice move upside there. $20 up to 30. I mean, this is 50% there in a month. So good move. Today's the biggest move up. And, you know, we're getting a lot of expectations here from some of these names. I feel like they're not even making money yet, these power names, these nuclear power names. So we got to be very, very careful with all of this. So, you know, up here, we're getting pretty close to tapping out. I feel like $33. If you're getting nervous about your positions or anything like that, take something off right in and around here. And if it continues to go higher, great. And maybe even get back in if it takes the highs. But the uranium ETF, a way to play all of this outside of some individual names. So what I mean by switching out, it's like some of the equities, like an SMR or something like that, will be at very similar highs. But if you don't know which name to get into, or you just want to play the space a little more safely, maybe potentially getting into all of them at once with an ETF might be the right way to play. So uranium, another play there, GE Vernova. I mean, some of these other names that are going to power the whole thing as well could get going, right? I mean, look what this has done since April as well. It's probably up 50% as well. Yeah, 260 bottom. So you're going to add, if you take half of that, 130 onto that is 390. This is actually doing much better. So nice move there. GE Vernova taking out the highs as well. So great stock there. Stair-stepping upside. I mean, all of these stocks look pretty sweet to me right now. This is a good space to be in. Nuclear seems to be winning. GE is a good way to play it there. So is the URA, the Global Uranium ETF. So everything breaking out right now. Tesla was going. We'll see where it can get to, whether it'll get back up to 350 or not. We'll watch out for that level. But apparently now Trump, maybe, I guess. Oh, he's still talking. Okay, he's still there at the White House. I thought maybe he was going to be leaving. Moments ago. Okay, so I think he is exiting right now. But we'll wait to see if that's the truth or not. But uranium ETF and Tesla on our mind. Doesn't look like he said anything about Tesla, at least.
No. Yeah, I don't think he did, Tinaman. But here's a look at Tesla. It's marginally down. I mean, not a bad look at all. Down 0.05. Danny Ives today, noted bull of Wedbush, raising the price target, Sean and Neil, from 350, the level you were just talking about, to the eye-watering level of $500. That would take out, I think, that 480 all-time high that we put in, I think, last year.
Yes. Well, we'll get there in a quick little second. I just want to make one quick update on this Gorv. What the heck is it? It's Lazy something. Not Lazy Boy, but it's like Lazy something company. It's testing VWAP. I have a trail in at 35. I'm looking to get back in at VWAP, leave the trail in, and see if I can. It just came back through. Like, just went up through VWAP. I want to see if I can get something underneath the volume weighted average price, leave the stop at 35, and play it back into the low is going to be the play here for myself. All right, so let's get that my orders out there. As far as Tesla goes, didn't trade it today. We can all hope that it gets back to 350. It seemed like it was cruising, and then obviously whatever just happened. Yeah, like a headline about tariffs you talk negatively about Apple during this, I guess, press conference and Q&A. That brings everything down, including what was a strong-looking Tesla. I thought this afternoon, if we were strong, you'd wait till 347 because that's been the safe place to go short for 2 days in a row if you just waited for it. Yesterday, it did give you a good short at 47 into VWAP. I don't know that it's completely done with. It's holding the 40 level. I'd wait for that because I guess it has to either break hold underneath 340, but even then, I don't know how weak that is. I think if I shorted that, it would be up at the 347 level. And let's have a look-see. If it can bounce, if we break VWAP here, it was a ton of support underneath look at the support on Tesla underneath VWAP. Like, if we do get a crash or flush this afternoon, I think you pick it up when people are getting stopped out under VWAP, and you're trying to get it down here at 336 on Tesla. Like that, like it was, I don't know why I wasn't looking at Tesla this morning, but look at the support at 335. Like that was insane. I think you get down there again, you start buying.
Oh, we had a call and we didn't take it on Tesla. Okay. I actually canceled my offer because I was short the Nasdaq and I was short AMD, and I was like, do I really want to be short Tesla? And it was actually going to be a break. It was right here. I could see the order. It was 341.50 breaking right into here, right where this 50-period moving average was. But we wanted that to break, and then we were going to take a 341 break short. So that, look, I could still get it right now, but it was more the break and the momentum back down into the 200 period. So it would have been $1.50, whether or not we took it or not, who knows? But we would have taken it or not, who knows? But I did have that order in, so I'm sort of thinking the same way, sort of thinking maybe a turnaround coming for Tesla, but it almost got back to zeros, right? And we just rejected that 343. So Neil just went over some levels, but I like the stock. And I think what we're doing right now is basing again. So it's kind of like what we did right here. We based and then we popped. I feel like that's what we're doing again, and upside. So watch out, man. You're starting to base and pop, and then you get to that next level. So, you know, we kind of looked at it right here. Now you're stuck in this area where we can go all the way back to November and have a look. And then when we popped it, that's when we made I was going to say all-time highs, but local highs, I guess, not all-time highs, back up to 460, 470 there for Tesla. Not that we're getting there, but I think we're getting close to thinking about a pop. I mean, it's above 360. If we can settle above there for a day or two, then that's going to become the new base, and then you kind of work back up into 4. So, yeah, today I like the short in it. It is more aggressive than the market, and we just bounced off of there. So if we can get back up to 343, a great short, or you want to play the long, we got to get this 200 period, which matched exactly with past support there at 339.50. So look, man, this is the problem with technical analysis. We're all smart when we look back at it. It's what you do when you're actually in the trade that makes the difference. So yeah, looking back and talking about levels, I like it, but I feel just like a talking head when we do this, because it's great to look at them, but do you have the trade on, right? So let's make the decision when it comes into that level. And if we still like it, then I think this is a good long. 339.50 for a key level of possible support at your 200 period moving average. So yeah, that is what it is, man. I've traded 1, 2, 3, 4 names today. That's it. So we'll be up on AMD. We'll be up on IMNN. This position's pending on the TQQs, and then down on Apple. So I'm trying to do the same thing that I do every day, try to make the best decisions at the best time. So Tesla right here at 339.50 might just be that play. All right, GME and IMNN. I have a good story to tell you. The #1 stock still on this floor is IMNN. I wish it was something else because we didn't make that much money on it, but let's go talk about it and I'll show you my out.
Here's GME. We'll get to IMNN in a second. Sean, GME really breaking out, guys, above that $30 level, looking close to 33. You can see those higher highs and higher lows there on the chart. Up 5.5% today. It's been on a multi-day run, so just keep your eye out for GME. Couldn't find a catalyst on this one. I scoured Wall Street bets, but I'm sure if you guys do some digging, you should be able to find something there. Here's IMNN. This one was rocketing up in the pre-market, a good pre-market mover. It didn't really give up the ghost, guys. I mean, it's just a little bit below the volume weighted average price, but holding above $1, and it's still up 172% on the day.
All right, here's IMNN. So we are able to find this one pretty early, man. I'm going to talk about this. This is my last 10%. And you want to talk about, you know, getting these prices? Hey, this happens to me literally every day. I gave it through $1. I gave it to 97, and that's exactly that bottom take there on the last 10%. But what a good trade this was early, man. We brought this to everybody when it was at 88 cents. Okay, 84 cents, something like that. Thanks to Chef Joe. Thank you to Tisha. Thank you to everybody in the chat for bringing this to my attention, right? Bringing it to both of our attentions. Neil traded this as well. It broke through $1. That's when I first took it. We had some good excitement here on the floor. When that happened, it went to 112 all the way up to 115. All right, it came right back in, and I was like, all right, we'll do it again. Then we took that again, this time at 95. Then it went from 95 all the way to 150. We made 50% there all the way up. It was absolutely fantastic. Then we just got out of pretty much all of it right there. It came back in. You guys saw me trading this live. Never really broke above the 50 period until it did. And then I was just like, all right, I'm going for my walk. I had a very, very small P. It might have even been less than 10%. And I said, I'm going to stop out if it breaks $1, but let's not give it $1. Let's give it a couple more cents. And there it is right there. It's come off, bounced off $1 a couple times. So my last 10%, definitely a fail. But hey, when it's the number one stock around here, it's the number one stock. So I can't complain about it. It could always be bigger. It could always be better. But what else is new, right? Yeah, tough day here today for sure, especially if this is going to be number one. But IMNN right there, good move up. Should have had more on it. But yeah, really, really happy with it. US-Iran talk right now. This market, I feel like, is just waiting for some sort of a big story. But that's my IMNN. You can, Neil's looking at GameStop here. But again, I don't have any trades on GameStop. Of course, we could talk about levels. I don't know if you got any fills on GameStop.
No, but so look, we've all been saying like, oh, what's the news on GameStop? Let's see if I can't. I
just got filled on SMR, by the way.
Just move this over. You guys can see this. Whether or not this has anything to do with why GameStop is up, I double checked. I mean, like enough people have said this. Robert F. Kennedy, essentially saying that he invested in GameStop and talking about greater transparency in the markets and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. You can go find it if you want. Whether or not that's why it's going up, like sometimes I guess is beside the point. Like it's a squeeze name, so I suppose it's just squeezing. So if that's the case, you know, today, we were talking about this yesterday, like it's still that breakout that needs to happen, more like the $35 level. So it's pretty unlikely that you're going to see that today. It's a long weekend, and going into a long weekend, you're going to find like you're going to have lower volume than normal. That's the first part. So you're already into a high of the day with low volume. So you can't be too concerned about there not being a ton of volume, but there are limits, in my opinion, as to how far you would chase it. Like I can't even imagine on this kind of volume, this traveling $2.50 higher to then all of a sudden be up 13 or 14% and then punching the high. Like there's just a 0% chance I would do that. So, you know, maybe we'll look for something like first available dip, maybe a 33 break, something a little bit more local, especially if we're not going to see anything else go crazy. Los Pollos Hermanos, June 1st is 50% tariff on EU. That means my understanding, yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Look at $30 on SMR.
It's about to break. Yeah, that's about
It's a huge level. Come over to my screen if you can in a second here. There's a lot of shares here on SMR right here. It was just up there. So if you want to go short in front of it, go for it.
That didn't break.
It's right. No, it didn't break. I just came up to it. It's too bad. You'll see in a second. I want you to sort of see the level here. Maybe
how did I get long?
Maybe if I zoom out right there.
That was weird.
Oh, you got long? Okay, so.
But it didn't break.
No, I mean, not if you just got long right now. It might have came close to breaking. I'm going to go long too if it broke, and I'm not long yet. So, all right, so we'll wait to see. But anyways, big size there on, we're done the rundown. Okay, yeah. That's that.
Oh,
so, all right, so there it is right there. Look, so here we go. Here it goes. It's going to break. I'm going to try the long, and I'm going to try the long back to, I don't know, man. I mean, these breaks, like here, let's zoom this back up. I don't like looking at a level that I'm not familiar with. These breaks have definitely broke my back a couple times here because they'll break and they'll come back in and then you have to same thing basically happened on that IMNN. It broke $1, it went to 117, then came back and he filled you 95 cents. So I even think like even if you miss this break, it's not going to matter that much. I just got filled on some of my SMR. So like I said, I had an order up here near 30. It was actually at $29.75.
I forgot
so we'll go from $12 to $29.75 there on SMR. I actually got to phone some friends because there's some hockey guys I haven't seen in a while. I don't know if you guys remember this story. I was telling people to buy this name. But there it is right there. Nice move higher. And again, just on SMR, if you guys are looking at it, we're up here right now. So you go all the way back to November. Look, things are meant to break. They're not making money, SMR. So it's just one of those things where I'd rather get out of this. So put the money in our pocket, possibly buy that ETF or just figure it out. Let the sector.
You can also.
Yeah, just let it cool down a little bit, I was thinking.
Like there's like the other names like the Vistras, Constellation, CEG, and GE Vernova. I'm just trying to end with GEV. Like I own GEV, so like it'd be easy for me to say, well, you can go into GE Vernova. Like I own that one because I owned GE shares for a very, 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 very long time. And when they did the breakup, I sold GE Healthcare and kept the other two because I like the other two. So I'll be in those probably forever. So anyways, the 30 didn't break. Yeah, I mean, it didn't. Like, it absolutely didn't break the $30 level, but I did get triggered in and just kind of hit offer enter to get out. Once I know it didn't break the 30 level and I have a weird fill, I'll just jump out of it. But I've been trading this since the morning. You guys know what happened in the morning. So a 30 break, we'll see what happens. IonQ, is IonQ breaking? No, so that's not the one. It was Oklo. Always mixing these ones up. Oklo already broke the 50 and hasn't looked back. But it did do a bit of a false break. Like, it broke the 50, got to like the 20s, pulled back, then it held 50, and it's on its way to 51. So that break did work on Oklo. So I do imagine SMR, if it can show a little bit more oomph or pep in its step, it's going to be able to get through this 30 level and take that top out. I saw David Rosa said they took the 50 break on Oklo. Well, this 30's been holding the entire day. So we're going to wait for it. The only other thing I'm looking at right now is going to be, and a fade on Apple looks like it makes a ton of sense. Like, we're still making lower highs on Apple all day long, with the exception of like one moment at 10:30. You've been rejecting 97 and now underneath VWAP and 96. So the next time we pop up here, provided the market isn't completely flying through the highs, as long as we're still doing this without breaking the tops, I think Apple looks like an appealing short trade. Let us know what else you guys are looking at right here. Geo saying NVIDIA broke a 15-minute trend.
I don't know. I mean, I was short at AMD up at these levels looking to get, I mean, look, the other day we had a great IBIT trade at the end of the day. We had a great TQQ trade. Just a matter of waiting for things to set up. I mean, you could jump into anything you want at any time. It's just a matter of, like right now we're in the middle for this trade for IBIT. I'm still waiting for that SMR trade to come through. It's still here at $30. I mean, if that hits, that's great. NVIDIA, and we can look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA catches that big order from Oracle again, so we can wait to see if NVIDIA wants to do anything right now. I mean, 132 has been great. I think this was a level from yesterday, right? 132 and change. So we can have, so this is yesterday. Actually, I guess 132 was kind of the bottom there during the afternoon. Now, look what we just did. Like, we just topped. This is what I'm saying when I'm looking at stock. It's kind of like right into here again. Like, we just came up into great areas of possible resistance and just stared at it, right? Shorted AMD instead. So we should have definitely looked there, 132.60 for NVIDIA, and then, whoops, nice little dig up down there to the downside. That's NVIDIA. Could be a good short. I'm already short the futures, looking for a long break there as well. Tesla could be another trade. I mean, I like the way it's been moving here so far today. So again, Tesla, a good little level. Thinking about that short, but I mean, the fact that we're up so nicely here from the open is really something else. So, and then the other one here was that we wrote down, by the way, on Fannie Mae. That's coming in as well. We'll talk about that. We wrote down $10. The $10 at the bottom, it's at $11 right now. But okay, so there goes GameStop. Again, nice move there. It looks like it wants to get to the upside, not finally making, but turning a profit last quarter. We know they have some sort of crypto on their balance sheet, and we're just going to figure out where that's going. But this looks like a great break opportunity here, right? Breaking back long through $35, get this thing going again, and just see what's going on. I mean, the short flow not as high as it used to be. Did you go over what the short flow was on GameStop? I'll call it up for myself anyways. All right.
I thought it was under 10 these days.
Yeah, I want to check it out right here. So this is on Benzinga Pro platform. Hit the like and subscribe if you guys are interested in that. Yeah, 12. So they have 12% short float for GameStop. So again, unconfirmed earnings in 14 days. June the 6th. So mark that down on your calendars and make sure you're joining us. And we'll definitely be going over all of that on that day. So watch out for that with us on June the 6th.
On the offer.
We'll do that. Okay, so SMR alert right now. So I'm going to be offering, there it is. It just broke it? No, it did not.
Nope, it didn't.
All right, so just waiting for it to break right there. $30 coming in for SMR. We'll see about that break. So it's going to need 1 million shares to go through. So it's going to need at least, Again, it's already done 34 million on the day. So that's 600,000 shares alone on Edge X, let alone some of those. Might just be a short against all these levels. So, you know, 600,000, a couple else there. We have a couple 100,000 shares there for sure. Over that, probably 1.5 million, probably 2 or 3 million, including dark pools.
Easily.
So you're looking at 3 million times $30, right? So you're looking at about a $90 million order or so going through. I think we could probably get that, but anyways, here it goes, man. Nothing's going to stop this stock if it wants to go. Futures pushing down. We have that trade. That's 20 cents in the money right now as well. All right, Satea has some news.
So just in 40 minutes ago, McDonald's posted that they will be closing Cosmic's locations, the last remaining 5 locations they will be closing. It will be down. So Cosmic's restaurants, the Cosmic's loyalty program, mobile app, and web ordering service will be discontinued on June 23rd, 2025. Back to you.
See if Mickey D's is going to do anything on that. Obviously, they've been really good. Like really,
they were at all-time highs.
Yeah, like really, really good. It's got a, wow, these charts are a little slow this afternoon. It's got a big time top that it just needs to kind of push through here at like 322, maybe a couple of wicks above that. I guess there was like only 1 or 2, but it's trending up into a flat top break. You know what they say. Do you come all that way not to break it? But this is not it's more of a hold, not a trade stock. Yeah, there goes SMR back down. So it looks like it just rejected that 30. See? You see it on the offer? A good rule of thumb, when you see a lot of size on the offer on most stocks, just minimum multiply by 2. Like at a minimum, and that's how much is really at the level. But sometimes it can be significantly more than that. So the short would be working off that 30 level. I'm going to make the presumption that Oklo is looking. Yeah, Oklo's actually dipping on that. So Oklo got to 51 when you got to 30, and this also comes right back into the downside. Yeah, you know where this has been a buy at VWAP in 48.5. If it gets down there, it's going to make some sense. Apple seems like it's not going to come back up. I was going to offer here 196.5, but I might get away from that and just play this into VWAP at 196. If it can't seem to break the volume-weighted average price anymore, if we roll over, A, bad news, well, this morning, and then B, more this afternoon, because Trump kind of doubled down on all of this, and it's relatively weak, I say why not? But the SMR is just going to have to wait. I don't think we're getting that break anytime soon.
No, eh? Okay, so meanwhile, we're just doing a little bit of this at least. Spinning some money right now for us on the TQQs. I mean, again, we're just trying to short that top. I did have a bigger order waiting there, but it never quite got to the top. We'd been stopped out numerous times at what I thought was the top, so I wanted to be pretty careful with what we were doing. Again, we talked about that level of resistance up there. We also talked about 21,000. So we'll wait to see, and then plus also heading into the weekend, you know, a long weekend. We'll see if we can get, I'm going to get something else out right here. Okay, there we go. We just punch out some at 80. Okay, that's that. Let's look for something else. Anything else, you guys? Oh, RGC, we had a request for that. Isn't that this crazy Chinese company? Shout out right here. Make sure you do join us in the chat. I did see somebody in here say, you want to take a crazy look at this RGC stuff? There it is right here. What's up, Mohammed?
Can't trade.
I hope that you're doing well, Mohammed, and we'll look at quickly here at RGC. Yeah, I remember this one was one that just got blown out. Yeah, I know why you're asking. You want us to bring some liquidity here, but honestly, I mean, this... So just a little bit of an education thing right here. This is the level 1. So when you hear people talk about level 2, it's all this action down here. And right now is a lot of ARCAs, and these are different gateways. So this is where you'll see just all of the different exchanges or gateways, we call them here, ECNs, electronic communication networks, things like that, depending on what you call them. But they're all here. So you have to, this could be less than 100 shares, right? Up here is where we have the Nasdaq book. So, you know, this is a Nasdaq name. So the level 1, this is where the liquidity is for the Nasdaq at 100 shares, right? And so this is where that next sort of level for 100 shares is. So you got to be very, very careful with that. Like that spread right here is just almost $100. So if you're trading in between here, like somebody just got long on a dark pool there at 473.50. You know, then the next couple prints are 520, 529, 511. Like, that's almost, you know, almost impossible to trade. But thank you for asking us about it. And, just to show you, there's lots of money to be made in here. There are traders that locate these dark pools and then trade it, right? So at many different, like a trade the pool, a real trade or anything like that, you're not going to be allowed unless you have special circumstance to use one share. So yeah, it's kind of tricky to be doing that with multiple shares.
That would even that symbol would be blocked here.
For here it would be, yeah. But
guaranteed block.
Just in general, like when you see that kind of stuff, not really that tradable. But thanks for doing that and bringing it up. But yeah, just not a symbol that I'll be looking at. As opposed to when you have this, you see the level 1 rate here, just 1 penny, right? Most stocks that will trade here will have it like that, unless it's a little bit. Even a Tesla, that's a
that'd still be 1 or 2 cents.
Yeah, $340 name there.
3
Thinking about
5.
Yeah, anyways, you're going to see it in here, still relatively competitive, right? So punching out gives you slippage of 10, 15, 20 cents, not $100, sort of like we just saw there. So but anyways, that's Tesla and a little bit of a lesson there on some level 2s. All right, so go ahead, yeah.
No, just to give an example of like what the risk, and I can say this from personal experience because something similar to this happened to me. On a stock like that, with like that level of liquidity and no spread, if you trade on a platform that has like set risk loss limits that work based on what your unrealized is, the second you get into position on a stock like that, RGC, with a spread as big as it is, like a $60 spread bid ask. The second you're into it, you could be unrealized out of the money past your shutdown. The stock could not even move, and it could trigger a flatten. And I'll tell you this right now, I was in something once in the pre-market. In the pre-market where that happened to me, and there was I got into position, and then the only reason I lost was that a flatten key got hit. Like it literally flattened me. And so I was in, and it flattened me, and the stock didn't even move, and I caused my own loss. That's exactly why a symbol like this is blocked at real trading, because it doesn't make any sense why anyone would take that risk. But if you're going to take risks, not just in the market, but in sports betting, you want to make sure that you do so with the best possible odds. You should always have the best tools at your hand, and you should always make sure that you've got every possible advantage out there. That's why you want to have a look at Profit X. They are hands down, and we've said it before, we've looked at it live, they're hands down going to give you the best and most competitive odds. But it's not just about that. It's the ability to have control over your bets. It's peer-to-peer picking, there's API access for automation, it's like day trading your favorite plays. You don't just have to place your picks, you exchange them. It's a smarter and faster way to play, and you can use the code TraderTV to get the sign-up offer of 2% cash back for up to $300. We should have put more down, obviously, when we had a good line on the game last night, but we didn't. Shout out to Oklahoma City. There's a lot of action on golf, but right now,
and your specialty is baseball. Why don't you look at baseball and make a call, and we'll take a play tonight on baseball, and then we'll see.
No, baseball is the worst to bet on. To be honest with you, it's trash. And it just is.
I mean, I just know that's what you like.
So. I absolutely love baseball, but unless you're like doing to me like DFS, where you're picking players is maybe a little bit better if you do some tournaments and stuff like that. But like just straight up picking games, you really have to dig. You're going to want to dig in and have a really good understanding of like who's pitching. I haven't looked today to see who's going in any of these games, and they don't tell you the starters here. So I can go and look at basketball and have an idea of the two teams, but like baseball, I don't know who's tossing for the Sox tonight.
Yeah, that's something you have to look it up.
Yeah, like that's the thing, you got to look it up. So I wouldn't be sitting there trying to give anybody a play when I've done zero diligence on it. What I can tell you, however, is when we look at this, the most popular, just in terms of dollar throwdown, has been, surprising to me, has been golf. And the thing we like to feature about it is the fact that you can look at the field or like make individual bets on who's going to win the tournament. Like you can bet for Scotty Scheffler, or you can bet against it and just say no to the chalk, which is pretty cool because you can't really do that anywhere else that I'm aware of. But that's a cool feature for it. Right now, like I think the NBA is the most fun one. Like I want to be all over OKC, but I'm not sure about Game 3. I think the hardest thing to pick right now is the Pacers and Knicks. That is hands down the coolest. What I would look for is, I think you can go over in that game, but Yeah, I have no idea who's going to win that. I think that's what makes it really fun. Like usually in the NBA, I feel really confident about who's going to go. And I think like that's really cool with the Pacers and Knicks that you have no clue right now. It's going to be a great series. I think it's going to 7.
It seems like it.
It just seems like it's way too cool. But OKC, man, they're legit. SMR broke.
What? I didn't get long. What the hell? How far up did it break? Oh my God! Why did I not? Oh, that's too bad, man. Oh darn! I crossed with Arca, so you must have crossed with Edge A there. Oh
Edge
man,
A, yeah.
For me to have gotten those fills, wow, we could have been nicely in the money with the amount of shares that we were trying to get. So let's just try to get something right here then. I'll punch some. I just tried some 21s and missed it. Okay, well, we just got it. So now we're in at 21. Not a great price. Let's see if we can average it. I mean, whatever. If it's going to go, it's going to go right at the end of the day. So, all right, let's just see if we can get something else down here as well. I'll offer back in. So there it goes. Yes, sir. At least we went over there. That's too bad, man. I was trying. The share size doesn't matter. We all do different stuff around here. But this would have been a good trade for sure if I would have hit it and gotten filled. So that's okay. So there we go. So I crossed with Arca, didn't fill me anything. So and I crossed to 05, and Neil got a better price at 03. So you know.
But that's a gateway.
There we go. So we'll have to use Edge.
It's a gateway thing. If you're
That's what I'm saying. We'll have to use it because normally I use Fox River, and I just wanted to switch it up over there into Edge A. But hey, man, again, it's all about your trade style, right? So if you like that breakout, that's good. We both tried to get it. I had to pay 21s, but let's see how far up we can go right now. I'm offering 44s for the first spot. Let's go SMR. I mean, this was the trade that we wanted in the first place. Just had to pay for it a little bit late. So here we go. Let's get going here on SMR, a decent sized position.
Yeah, I want 30. It's in overhead resistance, so I'm looking right here. When it got to that 30 level, I'm looking at the best open price we had was 30.5, and then the wicks are like 31.50. So 30.5 is where the scalp trade goes to on the break for me. So I get out of 80% and try to hold the rest. That's it. Well, actually, just over 80%. I'm just going to hold the rest to see where it can go because that breakout trade goes right into overhead resistance. Let's go over to Satea, I believe. And I just heard DJT in my ear.
Yes, so we just have some incoming news 20 minutes ago. Trump looking to slap 25% not only on Apple, but also on Samsung or any other phone manufacturers that don't have a manufacturing plant in the United States. Back to you.
Yeah, DJT's moving on. Well, I don't know, not on that, but DJT is making some moves just now, breaking through $25. So if you're watching this, it is also on the move in addition to SMR and the nuclear name. You're probably going as well over in OKLO. I'm going to make the assumption. If you go back underneath 30, I'm out of this bad boy, but it's certainly flying. Oklo, no. It's just an SMR play, so we like it. I'm just going to hang on to this. I think we can go for a reload if it can hold on any kind of a dip to 30 levels. So if it goes $0.50 in dips and holds, I'd go for the reload play. If it breaks 30, I'd look for 29.25 to 29.3 as a sneaky little dip buy if we break that 30 level. I think you want to stay bullish on at least this name, right? Like these guys have the catalyst today, obviously. And everything else is kind of languishing, doing nothing unless you're DJT 2 seconds ago.
All right, here we go, man. We're putting SMR on the map here again. We just got some out at $30.44 here. My focus is all on this right now. You know, the futures can wait as far as I'm concerned. So there's a nice break there on SMR. We'll watch to see. It's really too bad, man, that we didn't get that same fill there. But we just went right over to it and punched it in. So it's a good thing that we noticed it, that it had broke that. But there it goes. Let's see how far we can get up now. I don't have any more offers, really. I mean, the next time we can go over maybe a little bit of a longer term look here on SMR. We had wicked up the highs $32 last time. That little closing number there when we ricked the $32 was $30.63. So I think that that's a good possibility to get into that level at some point there today as well. So $30.60, maybe that's where we'll sit for our next offer. Then 32. I mean, it just keeps on going right after that. So let's wait to see. But why am I seeing that there was a tick up here already today? Oh, right there. Yeah, that's 8 o'clock. Okay, so that didn't happen there. So even if you're going to use, some people use dark pool wicks, I don't know for what, but if you're going to use it anyways, that's $30.80. You know, if like somebody at 8 o'clock predicted that it would go up here, then that's great. But here we go. So yeah, thanks for that, Tateo. But we did talk about that when Trump was on there, and he had spoken, like we said, that story. I think you mentioned Tateo there about 20 minutes ago. So when we were with Sharif at, I think it was more close to around 2 o'clock-ish there when he was speaking and signing the executive order here for nuclear. People asked him obviously about Apple, and that's when he was like, if it's not made in the U.S., then it's going to get tariffed. He didn't really care about the product or anything like that. It's just that's a blanket statement that he had made. And then someone even asked him, what about other phones? And he was like, yeah, it's happening on all phones. So right there, if you're not made in the USA, then you ain't you ain't a friend of his right now.
Which really, just guessing here, it's like he'd have to say that to make it viable, right? Because if all of this argument is always about like the national security thing, well then how can you argue singling out a single company? Well, now he can know that it'll affect Apple a ton, but then he can make it happen. Because that was my question. And we were talking about this morning, like how could you possibly signal like just this against a single company? Is that really going to fly? We'll see what happens, but it's not very good for Apple.
It's a power SMR.
It is the power hour now into it. Remember, it's a holiday shortened weekend, or it's a holiday shortened next week, which does mean it's a 3-day weekend. Volumes, while they are going to be lower at the close, it's still the close, and we've had a lot of volatility today, so I would expect you could see some fireworks. Every single day, there's been some kind of a big move. Make that next move up. There's been some kind of a big move at the end of the day, and I'm going over to Tesla just to remind everybody, like this was just doing slight trend, slight light trend, and then fell all over itself into the volume-weighted average price, guys. So like this is exactly the kind of thing. You can be lulled to sleep, and then all of a sudden it starts going, and then there's no green candles when this made the turn at 3:30. None. Until you got to the close. There wasn't a single green candle on Tesla for the last 30 minutes of the trading session yesterday. So I'm not saying Tesla's going to do it again, but I mean, I'm on watch for this. If it tries to do some kind of a glide, it could go in either direction. Maybe it falls into VWAP and pops and goes green forever. So you want to be, like I'll have all these up. Will have Tesla, Apple, NVIDIA, and now, SMR obviously, upside. But yeah, be careful here. Like don't get lulled in, like have your stop orders out, be ready for it. I'm just suspecting one of these is going to move. And I'm thinking initially to the downside because that's what happened yesterday.
All right, $30, $29.75. Yeah, my out's going to be around $29.75. I still have half of this position, so let's wait to see where it goes. I'm offering at $30.60 right here for that. Let's have a quick look at some of the sectors and what's going on over there. Well, by the way, we just cashed out some more. I mean, the TQQ. I mean, this is the trade right here. I mean, SMR is great. We'll hopefully make just as much on that trade as this one, but there goes the TQs, nicely cooking now to the downside. So we're really happy with that. And I'm going to take out another piece on SMR here just because it's not breaking 40 and we have a decent size of shares here. So we're going to get out of that as we go. So we're going to watch out for that. All right, so the sectors right now, Bitcoin 108.7, not good, man. A nice little downward trajectory there today for Bitcoin after hitting record territory yesterday for Bitcoin. All right, let's just sort this by change right here. So utilities are up. I think Joe was talking a little bit about that there today. The energy space is also up 0.4% right now. Consumer staples 0.4 as well. And then we basically get to Flatsville right now where we go. The information technology downside. I mean, we've seen some of these stocks here for IT. That's the Nasdaq, right? So that's going to be down. Consumer discretionary, that's like a Tesla and whatnot. We can actually click on this and it'll show us the components. I thought I could. Maybe I'll have to, there it is, to refresh here. Here's the components right now. We'll be able to see, what's sort of leading the way there. Yeah, okay, so there's Amazon. Oh, yeah, that's right. Consumer discretionary. We did have Ross Stores, which was horrible, and Deckers, which was horrible. Lulu, like anything that's basically, so consumer discretionary is really bad today, and that's going to be because, I just said the story about 5 minutes ago. Let's go SMR right now, breaking through $30.50. But if you make anything outside of the United States, you're dead to President Trump right now, and those are those companies. So needless to say, man, a little bit of a problem there for anybody producing outside China or into China, like a Lulu, like a Nike, insert name here, and they're going to have a problem with that. So anyways, all right, 30.50. I just put an offer right there to take another piece out again here at $30.50, and yeah. Just wish we had a better price, but always good to be in at least late than never. And, we did wind up punching a decent amount there. So we're going to look to make a little bit of money here, top off the day. If we can get that even higher, that would be great. I'm also at $30.60, so there's another out. So there's the break of 30. We went long into SMR. At least this one's working. And the futures are down 47 cents right now. So good trading overall right now on the market. But look what we just see right here. Good thing I just zoomed back into this. This is why I've only traded 5 names today. Very focused on them. 66.70. If we have to be able to see when these plays come in, because I'm using these lines as areas, right? And so there's our outs right there. Here it is back to the 200 period, shorting the high of the day into the 200 period. Good spot to start to think about some covers. So we're doing that right now as we do it for you live. And there's a good out for me at 50 as it comes right back into 30s again. So yeah, SMR really making the day go right here, and the futures. So a couple good trades here back to back. I'm going to take one more opportunity to bid out here on the TQs. And there goes SMR. Nice fade off of that level. But yeah, good out there at 50. Can't complain.
Yeah, it's a second time. Well, actually, no, it's the 4th time on a 3-minute that it's failed in front of the 50 level. But for myself, everyone's going to be different. My stop initially on the break is a prior bar low, which is literally a 10-cent stop. We got slipped to 03, so it ends up being 13 cents worth of risk. I'm still going to stick with that. If we lose that level, I'm out. I don't want to give it all the way down to 75. I was going to make a point. You already said that with Deckers and their production. But it's like those guys, China, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, they're where their products are made. Tremendous amount of risk for them. It does mean, and those types of names, oh my goodness, if things get turned around, it could be fantastic for them. But at least for now, it looks pretty nasty. Apple does not seem to want to give us the volume weighted average price. It's not moving that much, but it is sliding down. I'm not going to take a break of the low of the day. That hasn't been the best lately on pretty much anything I've looked at. So we'll still look to be able to short a pop there in Apple. It still looks pretty weak. Tesla's, I can't pronounce that name, but you were asking, Betislav, maybe? Asking about Tesla. Yeah, it's starting to slide down. I was kind of hoping you'd get a move into the top, and then you could short it, sort of like a grind in like it did yesterday. That would have been the plan, to fade it on the strength, and then the last half an hour look for the short. But there just isn't a heck of a lot of strength right now in Tesla. So just be careful with that. I'm not gonna play this right in the middle, right? The lows in the low 30s or mid 30s, I should say, and then you got the mid 40s or the low mid 40s is where the resistance is. So I'm gonna stay away from Tesla unless I see it trending into resistance like it did yesterday. That's the short that I'm looking for sure. Sebastian said stink bid at Bull. Yeah, Webull.
Look at Bull. Oh, down 8%.
It did go more. Yeah, it did go more down. This was a disappointment, I think, for Webull, because I was kind of hoping either it would be we would squeeze or something and be tradable, or if it did go down, it would break and get into the 11s, so you'd take a shot at this thing long in front of $11, because doesn't seem like it wants to get to that $10, and it does absolutely neither one of those two things. Doesn't even break the range of the week, which is incredibly boring. To me, a lot of times if a stock with a low float or anything like this has earnings and it doesn't even break the range of the week, you don't even want to touch that. You want to wait till after earnings, if and when it does break out, and then make the play. But yeah, I probably throw a stink bid in this. I forgot to sell some SMR shares in the middle of the day. I said I was going to. So I'll probably throw some stop orders or something for Tuesday. And one of the things I might do is just throw an 11-something bid on Webull, because I wanted to get in front of that anyways. Maybe I'll get Phil on vacation. You never know. It's happened before.
All right, so we'll get some more out here on SMR. Actually, right now, I was waiting at 30.45s there. It didn't quite come up. We'll add it to 37, see if we can get some outs there. It doesn't really matter what gateway you use. I mean, if it just blasts through you, it blasts through you. So Some more outs there. Our best out, of course, is 50s flat. We're waiting at 37 now, then 45, and just trying to get some more outs, right? I mean, we have multiple tranches to take here on the way in. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. The TQs goes down into those levels as well. All right, let's check out some Big Bear AI. Yesterday had a good move. Look, I mean, until this gets above and stays above $4, like, I like the moves. And if you're looking at a chart here for Big Bear AI, they had a couple misses on their last earnings report and made them come back into the $3 level there. Now you're supported by the 200 and the 50 period moving average. You're one story away from this thing being $5, $6, $7, $8. So let's wait to see if Big Bear AI wants to get going through $4, a name that I own in and around that price. So we're going to be down on Big Bear AI. I did sell some SMR today. There we go. We just got a 44 fill, I believe, on that name. We'll check out where that's going from after that. But yeah, Big Bear AI, not much going on today. Just wanted to have a quick look at it to see if there was anything going on. Let's just check out what's going on with IMNN again. Again, this is still going to be, well, depends on where I get out of SMR, but that one could go to number 1 too today. But right there, IMNN, good trade there. Yeah, good move higher there as we go. And like we said, everyone will trade things differently. I held it back through the dollar break. We got 95s, and then it popped through. So IMNN, you know, and again, you never know where your bread's going to be buttered. You guys are asking a lot on the chat. I see you. You guys want me to put more low float runners and more gappers on the sticky note. We'll look to do that. Yesterday, we had the monster trade on QBTS, today on IMNN. And yeah, unfortunately, we got stopped out of our last. It was under 10%, but our last little bit stopped out there once we broke $1 back in. But there goes SMR, and holy crap, Neil, now it is going to be your number 1 P&L name on the show. I just got, as long as this doesn't completely collapse, right there, we're getting some out now at 75. We just got a 73 order, so we got our 60 fill. Now we just wait, man. My next out is $30.95. So let's see if SMR wants to go. I'm just mad that we didn't get as many shares as we wanted to because we missed that first break, but it's all good, man. I still basically punched the same amount, a little bit less because of the price was a little bit worse, but it's still a nice move upside there for SMR. Good job there that it broke. I mean, we talked about that level. Not only were we looking at that level, we showed you the size there. We talked about it. So, hey, man, if you're going to trade, you might as well take it. And that's what we did. So there's the break there on SMR. I said that was where my big focus was going to be. And there it is, man. If you're going to focus on something and trade it, you might as well, you know, wait for something like this to happen. So there it goes, SMR. We did pretty good waiting for it. And we're only in about a quarter left.
Yeah, now I'm just going to wait to see if it can hold the trend. It's got a very clean one on SMR too. So you can connect it, like it just broke. There's your breakout. There's your prior low. And pretty much it's just lining right up pretty clean. So either it gets to that 31.5 area on the daily chart or not. And this is like you take a break, you can get 1s, 2s. Well, you probably couldn't get 1s or 2s, but you can get in that first 10 cents, risk it back underneath. My risk was 15 pennies on it. So as standard, like the second it got, like it goes to 20, that's the first out at 1-to-1, and then the 50 level is where we got the next out, and now we hold it for the extended move. So that's the plan of action. Now I think the 31, over under at 31, you fail the 31 break, and I'm out. You break this trend, and I'm out. So this one now going to be, I just realized I put this in. Well, I should totally get the algo, guys. It'd be really cool. There's a stop that we have. It would be nice to be able to have a trailing stop based on an indicator you put in or like a trend line that you put in there yourself. But you'd have to connect to the API to do that here, which you could do at Real Trading. Don't get me wrong. You absolutely could do it. But I'm going to get out if we break trend line, or I'm looking for that break of the 31 even. At that point, you know, you can't ask for anything more. Good R&R there. Tesla is moving higher. It's still about $2 away from that top, but it has a decent chance to get there. And Apple. That's the one, I think. Apple's starting to cruise into the volume-weighted average price as well, 196 on Apple. 97's been the level, but as weak as Apple has been, I'm not sure you can get there right now. I'm going to take the first shot, if it can get to the volume-weighted average price, to look for one of these topping tail candles and then jump into the short on Apple. But we got the trail in. We're not going to get the reload on SMR because it didn't pull back into 30. You know, like the dips you got were like 16 was about as good as it got. So now all of a sudden my stop out's going to be underneath the 40 level unless it breaks 31 even, and still waiting on either Tesla high a day or Apple giving me that VWAP trade. 25 cents is NVIDIA bullish until the earnings. Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, whoops, that's not going to be split adjusted. There you go. No, like it's a strong trend up. And we said this morning. It's held this consolidation, not only held it, but look at that bullish candle on the daily chart, providing that we don't actually fall $3 at the close here. Well, you've managed to hold a range on this gap up, and that was into what was bad news this morning. So there's your breakdown that gets bought right back up, and it stays within the range. Call it a bull flag on the daily chart, whatever you want to call that. That's bullish, and as long as it's above 130, then it still stays bullish. We said that this morning, and I think that still holds true. I keep forgetting to hit save. All right. Like every time there's a new bar, a couple of bars, the trend line moves. It's not going to be that big of a deal here, but if it breaks 31, that is going to be a different stop for me. All right, there's Apple.
All right.
Apple just wicked that 96 area.
So I'm getting more out here at 75 on SMR. What's up to Unique Trading Group, man? Awesome comment. Thank you so much for that. He wants to say, at Sean Katina, I just want to say thank you for SMR. No problem banking on this stock. You're welcome, with a little bit of a hot dog cannon there. So we'll fire off the hot dog cannon, because that's what SMR has done for us, right? This one trade alone just put this stock #1 on the day for Trader TV Live. So good job there. Neil's got it. I've got this one. And there it goes. Nicely done. Cooking now to the upside. Bitcoin, big shorts incoming. I don't know, maybe. I mean, 110 there for Bitcoin. We want to thank everybody for that. 50 cents on Tony. I don't know, what do you mean for that one? Oh, how much we're making on this? Look, man, I mean, yeah, we're only in the money right now, 50 cents, but we always talk about trading our own style. I'll take 100 to 200 sometimes times the amount of shares, right? So I'm trying to get out at some of these levels just because, and then, you know, holding out for huge moves up is one thing, but taking profit is another, right? So I'm going to make sure that we do take some kind of profit, and now I'm only holding a quarter of my position. We just got some more out there. So just be careful. Everybody, please trade your own style. We talk about all of us doing different things, right? Buyout trades, pink sheet trading, whatever. Everything that you're talking about right here, everything that we do on the show is going to be different for all of us. Joe will trade different, Sharif, Neil, everybody trading differently. Big shout out to my main guy, Sharif, right there on his birthday on the 25th. So he won't be here. We had a guest appearance there from Adara tonight, or this afternoon, which was awesome. On the midday show, she came in and gave this guy eggs. Can you believe that Sharif has 12 eggs every breakfast?
What the hell is even that?
Yeah, that does seem a little bit weird there, but anyway, shout out to that one there. He obviously has his reasons. Okay, so just as we go there, Neil will be happy when he comes back, which he's right here right now. SMR just tried to break above and tried to hold, and then it just came back in. Went back in above into 30.80. I'm looking for it to, I thought it was going to break higher there. That's why I was sort of getting excited there. I thought maybe by the time you came back, it would be at 31. But right there, getting close enough to that at 30.75 right now for SMR. Look, I want to talk about some more things. Neil just talked about Apple. Let's just check out AMD. AMD, we've left it alone. It has given 111 short, which look at that, man. Again, like trading doesn't have to be that difficult. There's the 111 top. You could have just waited for it. We messed around with it early when we thought we had the tops. I still like AMD. We're up on that stock. We're down. I can't, you know, SMR, we both have it, but SMR is going to be the #1 P&L name, then IMNN. But I also have the #1 red name by a lot. That's Apple. Getting shut down on this stock, not shut down on this stock, but we shut ourselves down on it once it broke through 197 and haven't really looked back, even though it was the #1 idea on here to get short. You know, we kind of threw in the towel on that. IMNN, I mean, great stock. We already talked. These are only stocks I've traded today. We'll look at a little bit of Fannie Mae, a little bit. We talked about that. I wrote down on the sticky note that we wanted $10 on Fannie Mae. So that's the bottom. This is the top. It should be a $1 winner there. Don't have it. SMR is already now, we just talked about it, going to be P&L #1. And then the Qs. So IMNN, SMR, TQs. Here comes SMR. See, that's why we're getting out, man. We got multiple outs up there into the 70s, just so we don't have to worry about this kind of a play happening. Because, you know, when you have a big name and you're trading decent shares, just like that Apple, you got to cover when the moves happen. And we probably covered this way too much, right? Like a lot of covers in here underneath 50 that didn't look like it wanted to break. Then when it did, take advantage of some of these plays to the upside. We'll just take a 56 right now. So you're still in it. So that's a good call. I know you're waiting for that trend to break. So we'll wait to see if that does break. We just bounced off of 50 there. I still feel like since we bounced, the next move higher is 31. So I still have an offer up there at 31, looking for that as well. But the TQ's faded, man. I did not short that, though. We could have definitely shorted up there, similar to where we were before. I was waiting for higher. So definitely, look, it's a big winner, but I'll slap a fail on me because we could have reloaded that position instead of just sitting on what we have. But hey, man, sometimes cash and being flat is a position, just letting them sort of work out right now. Like SMR is all the way back to 75 now.
Yeah, it just keeps on. It's absolutely riding the trend at this point. So, like anybody that's like late to the game, it's holding these levels, but it's wicking the bottom now. There's not as much tape velocity here. Like if you see the volume, yeah, you guys can see that. If you see the volume, it's still good, but it's definitely lower. How am I missing a volume bar? That's kind of weird. You know what? I think I know what it is. It's flat. It means that candle was, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's sort of dwindling in volume. You want to see that start to pick up if you're going to make a run at that high of the day. And I agree, the 31 is the big one. If it does, see this here at 30.75, where it's just going back and forth above. If it does that at 31, like to me, that even dollar is an out, especially when 30 held. And then I looked over to ask myself, like, what's going on in the other names? Like if you're looking at Oklo, this isn't even moving right now. And if anything, it's starting to come back in on OKLO. What was the other one? It's
which one?
There's a third.
There's NEE.
That's the one.
NNE.
It's NEE is the one that's the one I'm thinking of. Thanks. Next error, right?
I thought it was NNE.
And no, it's NNE. Yeah. Right? Nano.
That's what I think
nuclear.
it is, yeah.
Yeah, because NEE is next era. But NNE, like this isn't really doing much.
This
of
one's called nano nuclear.
Yeah, look at it. It's holding another even dollar level that's basically just holding. So they're not going. Right now, SMR is kind of the only one. So if it does make a turnaround, I don't want to miss out and not have my stop, which I keep on moving up every candle. So Tesla, it was going. It looked like it was going to break 42s and head into that 43 top. Now you're already starting to head back into the downside. I mean, I'm going to go back over to Apple, which... It didn't even get to the volume weighted average price, so it looks like that's not going anywhere. Yeah, really nothing else is moving. Dan Nguyen says Palantir's dropping.
Yeah, well,
if it's even moving, that's some. But not really. Like you need to already be in this. That was really good. Palantir, yeah, back through 125 on Palantir. That looks kind of good.
Get down, TQ.
Yeah, I'm now out of SMR. It looks like we just broke the trend line. There you go. So there's the break of trend. I'm not shorting it. The plan of action was never to short. Like it's the one stock right now that is bullish or that had been bullish. So I'm just going to jump out. There's always a chance, like I said, the first time if it loses 30, that you pick up something underneath 30 because there'll be a bunch of stops at the $30 level and then look to pick something up maybe like 29.80 if it can hold that prior wick at 29.73. So that could still be a play on SMR. If the other ones were going, we'd take a shot at that. INFA is the halt, apparently. Oh, it's open. Yeah, it must be oh, goodness. What's the story? Whoa, what's the story here? I'm going to look this one up here because something must have just happened on, like this stock. First of all, I don't know anything about this right now, and I didn't hear anything in my ear, but it looks like it was already going here. I don't have a news story for it today. Like nothing. I don't have a single news story. There's something for yesterday, which...
We can throw to Satya. Satya, please, INFA.
Yeah, there's got to be something on it. It just opened back up, and it's now 25% to the upside. I mean, you can look at it on a higher time frame. Yeah, clearly they got rinsed, and it's just filling in the gap. So bottom of the gap is here at 24. Top of the gap is 26. Both of those could be some resistance levels on what is even the name of this company? Informatica, it looks like here. So they're AI... So they're AI-powered cloud data management company. So that's what they are. I don't know what the story is, but it just opened back up in a huge gap to the upside. Would be blind here, and you just showed it's that resistance spot, so I'm not going to touch this. That also means I'm not paying for shorts to try something stupid on INFA. Good luck if you happen to be in this thing.
All right.
It looks like a buyout. Like this This is what a chart looks like if there's a expected deal, or like a
You're right.
if someone's saying there's
maybe
like,
some
a
interest
deal
on this.
That's what the chart looks like.
All right, well, what the chart looks like when you're doing this kind of stuff is what it looks like right here on the TQQs, because here's a push down, man. Now 60 cents in the money as we get to go lower and lower and lower. Yeah, man, I mean, this is what we talk about it, like having multiple abilities to get out of shares down near levels that you like, right? So I'm never getting out of everything at all at once or anything like that. SMR, we get some out at 50, it just pops back up into 60s, and we take some more out right there. But we do understand that we are starting to get a little bit lower now on SMR. I'm still reloading this at $30 if it comes back in. So we'll wait for a $30 reload, then we'll get out some at $29.75.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay,
that's what it is. It's Salesforce is said to be in talks to acquire them. Oh, that might not be good for Salesforce here. Yeah, Salesforce down $10 on this. There you go. Yeah, so that's the rumor. Salesforce is in talks to acquire INFA. That seems like that'd be a pretty decent sized deal. Let me just for myself, I'm going to pull up the data on this. How big are these guys? Like what? Because they're really, if you're down like $10 on Salesforce, you got to figure that's a pretty hefty. Yeah, $6 billion market cap for INFA. So yeah, Salesforce taking it on the chin. I like these. Like if this deal gets announced and it takes Salesforce down to like down in maybe like the 240, 250 range, that could be an interesting little buy for them. Yes, so Salesforce down to the 50 period, down 3% on this speculative deal. Like there's no announcement of price or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. So good look there. I mean, whenever you see somebody moving like that, there's always going to be some kind of a story.
I knew that's what it looked like, but
yeah, it's like it's either that or a Chinese name or something. All right, what about Mara or some Bitcoin related names here coming through again? So let's go look at Marathon Petroleum. I almost said Marathon Digital right now. Okay, so here's Mara. Like Bitcoin's at all-time highs. Right, so I think we can finally now squash the idea of Marathon and Bitcoin sort of moving hand in hand, right? The thing about this is, and I remember when Michael actually was on the show, Michael Noss, and he talks about a lot of different names, so he probably won't even remember, but we talked about this with relation to Bitcoin. Sorry, I don't mean to look up the news for Mara, actually. I meant to look up what the short float still was on this name. Yeah, 34%. So that was really the case. And I thought it was lower than that. So I thought I was going to call this up and show you guys that it's actually a little bit lower than that 34% right there. But that's what it is on Marathon Digital right now. And this is, again, according to Benzinga Pro. But what I was getting at with all of that, again, is the fact that I thought that we were at some point.
U.S. Steel's halted now downside.
Yeah. I think there was, didn't I just see some news on that or something?
Yeah.
Trump is now talking about U.S. Steel. Yes. And so President Trump there obviously halted. I don't know. I mean, Satea's at the desk is all I can tell you. So if she sees anything about it, hopefully she'll get back to us on this. But there's U.S. Steel now halted. There it is.
There it is.
So I have it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so U.S. Steel will remain in America, so there will be no, I mean, heads up to that, failed.
They should not open this stock back
so
up.
This will not open back up, hopefully in a minute. So there it is, man. We'll break the news there for you. But there it is. So we can have a look back in here, and I'm not sure. I have to ask ChatGPT, or I can ask Satea, I guess, when that a deal was announced with Nippon, because this was definitely going a lot lower. And so the Nippon Steel will not go through, according to Donald Trump. And we'll wait to see now. There's going to be regulatory hurdles. There's going to be breakup fees and all this. I'm not even sure the president can even squash a deal like that. But again, not good news here for U.S. Steel, as it's very, very choppy on the daily chart, and about to get a hell of a lot choppier. And maybe if you're looking for a downside push, it's probably coming pretty soon on U.S. Steel.
Well, if he's like, this is the thing. He's the president of the United States. Like the regulatory approval, like. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if he's like, this deal shouldn't be approved, do you really think the regulators are going to do it? And throw in the fact that it's not just, like, both sides of the aisle were against this deal. So, like, if he says it, it's not happening. And I'm pretty sure the deal price was, like, way above here. It's not like it was trading anywhere close to it. So it does have a theoretical, it has a tap right now. But what's crazy about this is I would not be surprised, even if it opens up again, seems to me like it's a volatility halt. If it opens up again, just be careful. Ask yourself, if it halted news-based on a reopen, would you want to hold it for 3 days over the weekend? Like, I wouldn't touch it. Just personally, I've been in that position before. Like, I was in Spirit Airlines, and they halted it, and it opened back up because the news was disseminated. Then they halted it again, even though the news was out, and said it's halted for news, which was already out, and they didn't open it till the next day. Well, the next day is Tuesday. So just be careful with this, because it does say volatility halt. So in theory, U.S. Steel is opening in 1 minute, or less than 1 minute now. So I'm going to have it up. Let's see what it's currently indicating about flat. I'd like to think if it tries to pop back in to like this prior resistance, like 45 or the volume weighted average price, I might take a shot on it. But it's going to open in a minute or so, at least according to the regular rules of halt. I assumed it would be a news-based halt, but it's not. It says volatility.
But how much did it go down?
It dropped like.
It's news, but I think that's a mistake.
That's what I think, but it says on the Nasdaq
there was a
website.
crazy dark pool somewhere.
Like, I checked the whole page and it said volatility halt. So
the thing is, it's not news pending.
Because the news is out.
Yeah, but there is no news. This guy's talking like they didn't know that he was going to say that, right?
Yeah, so it's probably going to open up here.
Very, very interesting story. They're developing for sure right in front of our face. All right, like the weekend says, I can't feel my face. If you're SMR, man, you can't feel your face today, man. It's been a nice move straight there to the upside. Giddy up, man. Huge move there for SMR continuing. We just got a 65 fill there. All right, so Snow. Again, a great trade yesterday, great earnings. Snow's been just an absolute ripper, man. I got out of all of this yesterday at 199.50. May look bad at some point, but I don't really, whatever. I'm raising some cash. I want to see this I don't want to see the market fall down, but I do want to get invested into some more indexes and less names, because I just honestly, Joe had a joke yesterday about, as I said something like, I want to get involved with Webull, and he said he wants a list of all the names I'm involved in, and I said, dude, it's way too many, because I talk about that on the show. But look at Snowflake right there. That was 200. This was 200. This was 195, and that's 200 again. So I just took the opportunity to get out of all of it right there, just because if it continues to go up, fine. It only spent maybe a couple weeks above these levels in the last 3 years. So I'll take advantage of that, especially if I'm a little bit anxious about this market like we all are. Take advantage of trades that are actually in the money and making money for you. There goes SMR, another break lower. Okay.
Whoa.
I'll take out another fill there right now. X just opened up, and what?
And it's flying.
Okay, so there we go, man. Maybe
it's going to halt up at 49.80. What? Is going
no, I don't think it will halt up, will it?
No. Will it halt? No, it's at the band, but it's trying to halt at 49.84.
I could go long here.
Do we have that story right?
Yeah, we do. It was just that it's going to stay in America. I mean, that's what he said there. He doesn't want this going anywhere. But you still have Nucor. I mean, NUE could be a play there. Like I said, I mean, I've already sort of. I should just ask ChatGPT. I just wanted to know when that deal actually happened, and then maybe I can look up some. All right, when did Nippon Steel offer for U.S. Steel? I'll find out that, and we can look at the chart and figure that out.
It was December 18th, 2023.
Okay, December. So you already asked. Okay, so
no. There's a look. I trade. There's a website that I use for trading buyouts that kind of has all the December. So the announced date was December 18th, 2023. It's been on for a long time.
Yeah, here it is right here. Look at, here it is right there. Yeah, $55 a share, 14.9 billion right there from ChatGPT. So, 2023 December, right? So, so there's the little gap. That's August, but I guess it's right here. Yeah, so this is the gap there. So
it's just basically
so that's where it gapped up to on the offer of $55 a share. So for some reason, it just gapped right back to $50 again right here. So we'll have to wait to see. This is, I just want to go back. Ooh, Salesforce. There it is, yeah. So that's that story that you gave.
And their downside.
Salesforce with Informatica, that INFYA.
No, that's Infosys.
Yeah, it's right here. So there it is right there. So apparently, yes, that is that talk. We've already brought you this story as we're breaking all of this here. Again, normally Adara would be breaking the story. We want to thank Satya, who's just, I guess, getting some of her bearings over there on some of these stories. But there's INFA. We're breaking it to you live. Story from Salesforce and INFA back in talks right now. So again, a nice rise up there, $28, the high for INFA. But yeah, there goes SMR, man. Another move back higher. I'm pretty happy with this. US Steel halted at 50. We'll see where it goes after this. But CRM may be going downside as normally the acquirers do.
Yeah, it's tanked.
So let's have a quick little look at this. This is another name that I've been in probably for like 15 years, man, Salesforce. You know, anything that was a favorite of Kramer's like 20 years ago, I'm in. Thank you for Apple, Kramer. Thank you for NVIDIA, Kramer. Thank you for like all the big banks and everything, man. It's been a good run. But yeah, there it is on that same rumor. Downside and volume picking up on Salesforce. Oh boy, we always talk about different styles, but we got a good style right here. There goes SMR right back into 70 again. Take that opportunity, punch some out at 70. Now let's see how high we can fly, man. I'm waiting now at, actually I'm gonna cancel all of them. I was waiting at 31. I'm going to cancel, see if we can get through $31 here at the end of the day and watch this name go a little higher, man. Buying the VIX, this is another strategy I think is great. Buying the VIX down here, $16, $17, $18 seems to be great, man. The VIX bottoms are like 12 or 13. If you can pick that up and just wait for a pop, the market always corrects. It might just be temporary, but those are those pops you're looking for on the VIX.
Yeah, and it's a great way, like for those of you that, if you're not like super active in terms of sell, you know, if you never want to sell, is the best way to think about it, then you're gonna like there's not a lot of options available to you. You can either hedge yourself by with like an inverse ETF, you can hedge yourself with covered calls, like things like that you can always do, but then the VIX is gonna be an interesting one. This is, it's absolutely wild. Like I'm still trying to digest, like in my head, I'm like trying to figure out why X is doing what it did. But in the back of my mind, like I have a decent understanding of how usually like arb traders work on this, and I can't see any way that they didn't just get screwed pretty heavily here. So yeah, it's a weird one to contain how it could be squeezing people like this. Like I don't know if X just doesn't turn into some kind of a squeeze here, but like Sean said, like it's this high in here into the 52 that we'll see if it can break out. It's indicating it's going to open higher on that volatility halt, which should be open in about a minute or so. Like absolute insanity.
I do have another story here about this one. Not that I'm trying to steal some fire here from U.S. Steel, but Trump, after much consideration, will remain in America. This will be a planned partnership between Nippon Steel and X.
So he's going to improve the deal then?
Improve it, I don't know. But
approve it.
Approve it, yeah. Well, I don't know. He wants to make sure that it stays here in the United States. So, yeah, I guess there might be some sort of,
I think this
guarantee about jobs, guarantee about where the steel does wind up getting produced and things like that. But hey, look, again, there it is, $53. Siren it up, man. It looks like that deal will get approved near 55. So there, I should have just gone long. We could have just made the month right there. Remember, I was like, I'm going to go long. But again, we didn't really have the story correct, that's for sure. And there's the move upside there. It's too bad, again, that we don't have it. But we'll be watching out for this. 44, 47, 53, 52, going higher right there. There it goes, man. Bye-bye United States Steel. Now remember,
it's 55 cash, the deal. So
right, so
it shouldn't break that price.
Right, so as long as that keeps going through there, watch out for, I don't think it'll go to 55, but maybe even a pullback now, right? So that's a pretty aggressive move. Even if this deal gets done at 55, probably not enough time value here, probably 52 a good short against that 55 if you did want it. Not that you're trying to wait, risk or reward.
The estimated completion date, like the most recent one was June 30th. So like if that were to happen, you're talking about 1 month. So if you were trying to find the risk-free rate, like you'd have to, the time value of money for 1 month to 55. Like that's not down here at 51. So, but at the end of the day, like this is way too wild. What you're seeing now is like unraveling of ARB's positions that have been betting on this one with a different set of circumstances. So like it's not trading based on any of those types of fundamentals that you'd normally look at, but it shouldn't be able to get through that 55 for sure. But yeah, this is insane volatility. I can't believe we're going to miss this one next week. Because if this does get firmed up, this is a gigantic deal. Gigantic. And everyone's been waiting for this to firm up. And it actually might be, finally.
All right, my kids are done school and they are off to Starbucks. Hey, look, I just called this short at 52, by the way. There it is, man. But like I said, calling something and talking about it is one thing. Putting the trade on is completely something else. But there it goes, man. I was just liking that $52 short. We should have done that. We should have bought the halt as well. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. What are we supposed to do? We've got a great trade on SMR, which is now breaking through. $31 it's trying right now. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I said we wouldn't do anything about it, but up to 92. Great trade there on SMR. Let's go, man. This is what we're talking about right now for new scale SMR. But if you want to look at charts, there's no better way to do it than on eSignal. So you can scan that QR code right there. Yes, calls on Starbucks. That's probably a good point there. Go Cubs, go, says. Check it out. I mean, you can check out Starbucks on these award-winning chart platform that is eSignal. We want to thank our good friends at ICE for hooking us up with the one free month. You can scan that signal right there. It's a very easy to use platform. Great customer service, man. One of the most subscribed to services for charting out there. Get, again, Blue Ocean, Moon, ATS, all those kind of different exchanges, the Nikkei, anything in Hong Kong, anything in Europe, any of the futures pits, anything like that, all subscribable through eSignal platform. Also connect your API to that, all of that jazz with the eSignal platform, one of the best in the business. And look, here comes 31 right now. There goes 30-1 right now on SMR. All we wish for was that we held a little bit more, but right now it is a Dollar Club winner there, breaking through 31. Great trading here on SMR. SMR Neil now will take over the #1 spot on the board today from IMNN, and AMD is there as well, but we need to look to see if we can get something going. The TQs, we got some great outs down there. We're in less than 10% of this trade, and we're now in just 15% left of SMR as we take advantage of that one. Good trading there through 31 and higher and higher and higher. I did trim SMR just now and earlier. So we got out at $29.75. I got out of half of my SMR position, so for the long term. But there it goes. It's a beautiful break there today. SMR up above $31. Let's see where it wants to go. It's now $3.40. So there it is. You welcome, Tony, man. Everybody that joined, man, that trade. So, congratulations on that. It looks like Basketball Boy is saying GameStop. Thank you, Tia. Mr. Sean is so good. Just Sean is fine. But I do appreciate it and say thank you so much for that one. There has been a couple face slappers today, that's for sure. SMR, one of them. IMNN, one of them as well. And then the futures have been okay, but not the greatest. So we'll wait to see if there's anything else popping off right now, man. This is just such a great market with President Trump in it. Like, you never know. Like, today we weren't thinking about this U.S. deal. All of a sudden, boom goes the dynamite, and this name gives you plenty of trading opportunities just in the last 20 minutes. So there it goes, man. SMR still flirting with $31. It's been great. It's going to be hard to slap this or get the smile off my face. Lilo and Stitch tomorrow night. Baseball tonight. Baseball all weekend.
You're going to get baseball this weekend, which I'm jealous of.
Yeah, we have.
They cancel our business. I just took a couple of shots on.
Yeah, but you're out of here tomorrow anyway. So.
No, well, we were going to play the morning game.
Okay.
They canceled my daughter's tournament.
Right.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because they canceled it yesterday for rain. How do you cancel a tournament that's Saturday and Sunday on Thursday? But
especially when we're practicing tonight.
Well, it's just like, and now they're expecting way less rain than they were before. Anyways, I'm disappointed. But at the same time, we were only going to play one of the 4 games.
Right.
So now all of a sudden we'll get to come back and play. Just very quickly, I took a shot underneath 52 here on U.S. Steel, just looking at that lower high. It did go down, and again, everyone's like, it went down to 51.5. So yes, it went 40 or 50 cents in the money, but I was thinking down to 50 to 50.5. But at the same time, I don't want to get whatever. Like in this stock, there's no chance I want to get caught with an overnight, right? Because I'm not even here on Tuesday. So it would just get flattened wherever. I do still think there's almost a 0% chance, like a non-zero chance, that you should be breaking any of these highs, 54 into 55. So I might, if it does a fail break, a topping tail up there, that's where I would take one more shot. But with 7 minutes to go, there's just not that much time left. The imbalances are going to be coming out. There's no early look except for Ford, 3.5 million to the buy side. A couple of penny stocks in there.
Oh, boy.
And then somebody screwed up on that. There was an IPO today at the Nasdaq, and they screwed up the symbol, so we can't even look at that thing. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to be eyes on only X at that high. So if it breaks this 54, the deal price is 55, I take one shot into that. It does seem to me like this, he's basically saying the deal's going to go through. So that's the way I would trade it.
Oh, boy. It's 3:44. Just thank you, everybody, for being here. And what we're going to do right now is something that we love to do. We'll do it on the after show as well. Let's do a little bit of a roll call just so I can say hi to people that are here right now. I know a lot of you are on this SMR trade, man. We told you this was going to be the trade that we wanted here this afternoon. So now that it's $1.20 here and starting to go a little bit higher, we want to say thank you to everybody for watching. So right now, let's do it, man. If you want to put some waves in here, then I'll be able to see you. And I hope that we could get that going. We have over right now, how many watching? 5,500 of you watching. 500 likes right now. If you're going to wave, I want to see that like count go up as well. So what's up to Bristol? What's up to CompuCare team? Okay, here we go. What's up to David? What's up to KK? What's up to Bora? Dexter did it. Yes, he did. What's up to Philip again? Dexter's there again. Sharif's left bicep is here. Oh, gosh. Tony's here. Cowboy Mike is here. Farm Trader Joe. Everybody, thank you so much. Waving back at you. Caleb, what's up, Bush? Butch Conception is there as well. Christopher Jones, I like that one. Miami Dragon, great name there for Miami Dragon. Yeah, happy weekend to everybody else as well out there this weekend, man. Lilo and Stitch tomorrow. If you're going to go see any movies, Mission Impossible should be fun too. The Piper's here. Nephew is here. Broke Bay is here. Bears vs. Bulls. What's up, my guy? Glad you're back in the building as well with us. What's up to Freddie? Mike the Stock Impaler. We like that name. The Stock Professor's there. What's up, Dick Chan? Unlimited potentials right there. Jose Canseco? No, Jose Carando. What's up to you? Mac Grivo, Julius C. Small Trader Nick. Yeah, what's up to that, man? What's up, Small Trader? Nothing wrong with that. What's up, Rick? Boss City is here as well. Everybody just shout out and congratulations for anybody still in this trade. We are now officially in that club. What's up, Ozan? There's that for you. Bang, and there's the Dollar Club for you now officially on SMR as it just continues to go higher. But that's a good trade there at the end of the day along with X, US Steel. I know Neil was on that one a little bit. AMD not doing much. Let's check in on our boy Tesla. Your boy might be picking one up very soon. All right, so 340 to the downside right now if Tesla can break it. We were waiting for that top. Doesn't look like it happens. Join me, myself, and I for the recap show tonight. It should be a fun one. We should have Steve Tileman, I believe, coming through from Trade the Pool, and I will ask him many random questions, and he will give many random answers, and we'll go back and forth, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then you could join him. He always has a sort of a stream after that as well. So join us with Trade the Pool. It should be a lot of fun. We do have a lot of fun with Steve. And
yeah, Steve's a lot of fun.
You were there with him last week.
I had a great time with Steve, and what I like about it is he looks. It's kind of like when we get Mitch on, right? Like Mitch will look at a wide variety of stocks. It's the same thing with Steve. Like he'll pretty much have eyeballs everywhere. With only 3 minutes to go, remember, imbalances, I'm not sure it'll be that big of a deal, but it is a long weekend. So it might not take as big of an imbalance to move the market because volumes in a general sense are lower. So like 3 million today on NVIDIA might be the equivalent of like 5 million yesterday because you have lower overall volumes. But at this point, yeah, it's way too late in the day to take any shots at US Steel. If it did break that high, I'd only be looking for the fade, and you just can't do it at 350 because if it goes into some kind of a move or a halt, there's not enough time for like the reversion or anything like that, and you wouldn't want to get caught over the weekend. Certainly not. I see Greg Moore says NVIDIA is set up to rip if you're already in calls. We had that conversation. Well, a few people have asked the same thing. And I tend to agree. Like you're in a bull flag, and this is a very bullish look going into earnings for NVIDIA, which should be Wednesday of next week. Like you dumped this morning through support, and then what's the first thing that happened? It got bought right back in, and it never stopped back through 130, or I call it 129, 130. So as long as it holds on to this going into the earnings, that's the key level support. And the next thing you can do is go to the upside. Nick, asking about Reddit. Fabian and I were talking about, well, not Reddit in particular, but how we both can't wait for Discord to come because I like them better. That's all. You know, Reddit has been, forget it at this point. There's just nothing looking that great about this stock. So, I mean, I'm not feeling it. It's weak when the market is making a bit of a rebound. And until buyers start to win, I'd stay away from Reddit. And it could give you a great opportunity. We always talk about when a stock breaks out the IPO high. When this finally got going past that, that's around the $75, $80 level. So if you get down there again, it's significant. It's bounced before. So unless you're waiting for that level, I'd say I'm going to stay away on Reddit. A little more excited for the Discord IPO when it comes out. But I'm sure it'll just come out at some price. It's so ridiculous that I'll not want to buy it then.
All right, so we're covering the imbalances that are coming out in less than 1 minute here. You can be able to see what's going to pop off right now. These are all old ones. We'll wait to see at 350. They'll all populate. I'm still in the TQs, but we talked about a very, very small position left on this. I ain't worried about that at all. We'll hold it and see if it gets to the downside. Hopefully it does, but I'm going to cancel my offer because I don't really care about that. All right, and then SMR, same kind of thing. When that comes out, we'll see if there's a bid under this or not. Again, we have less than about 10% or so left of SMR as it continues to make some moves around and around and around again. What is my wife sending me? Oh, they have that shaker sauce now at, where is she? Oh, Costco. Okay, yeah, we knew that. Okay, there it is, 350. So now the imbalances are now out. Again, we'll figure out where it's going. It looks like SMR trying to go to the downside as well. Our TQs trade does go lower here. So yes, man, there is the face slapper for you on that. Let's get some 61s out right there. 57 cents as a winner right now on TQs, cashing out a little bit of that one. And you could see some downside pushing there for SMR. I'm not even sure where it is. I'll ask questions, get out and ask questions later. So we'll punch a little bit out there at 31. Small buys, yeah.
Apple's 1.2, Nvidia's like 800,000. It's very, very small buys. Intel's a sell of 1 million if you happen to be into that. But pretty much a nothing burger. Ford's kind of a buy at 3.8 million, but Ford's going to pair off 99 times out of 100, and that's not going to be a big time mover there. And Lucid, even some small stocks in there, like Lucid 700,000 is not going to move the needle. So a bit of a nothing burger on the imbalances, but you did just have, that was an interesting move on you're still in SMR, right?
Oh yeah. Wow.
Did that have an imbalance? That's an odd coincidence.
It didn't. You said it was a small buy.
No, was that something else?
Oh.
But like right when the imbalances hit, this did drop like 50 cents. Did we miss it?
What, SMR?
Yeah. It just did a huge move right at.
Yeah. I've been getting out of it. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like I just got some out at 31 there.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The move is almost over, right? So there goes SMR. We told you we're less than 10% on SMR and on the TQs. So I wish we were a little more than 10% on the TQQs. Look at this trade to close the day, guys. I mean, that's going to be a good one there. If you just rocked with these trades, and thank you to Bears vs. Bulls, man. I'm getting your private messages. It means a lot. Just about, talking about some of the success of the trades that you're seeing here. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot to me right there. And like I said, man, anybody can ask us about any of the trades that we've been in. We're very, very transparent with everything. So, all right. So there goes the TQs again. We just covered some more down there, is what it is. I don't know how low it's going to go. We don't have very much left on anything right now. A couple outs. We basically emptied the clip up here. Most of my outs, though, we talked about this, all into here before 31. We actually, as it was going through 31, we got really excited and took a bunch more out. My best out is 31.31. So coincidental, to be honest with you. I didn't even realize that when I was doing it. So there it is, man, as we go. So thank you so much to Bears. Thank you to Ozan. Thank you to everybody. We've already sort of done that roll call there today. So yeah, just cleaning up here as the day goes. I mean, there's not much else. Just these two trades to go, and then I'll be talking as I throw my pen everywhere. I'll be talking with Steve.
Speaking of Steve.
We'll figure out what he wants to do.
Speaking of Steve.
Minecraft?
Well, that's one thing. Steve, Trade the Pool.
Okay.
Is redefining what risk means for traders. No more risking your life savings to prove yourself in the market. They're going to give you access to company capital up to $200,000 to trade real stocks, no CFDs, and your downside is limited to a single one-time fee that starts at just $47. It means no blowing up your personal account. You get to trade with Sirius BP, all while knowing your loss is capped. All you have to do is pass the evaluation, and that's it. You are funded. Scan the QR code and get 10% off to start your journey at Trade the Pool. And you can ask Steve about it tonight in the aftermarket show. I know he will be obliging for sure. So shout out to them. With only a couple of minutes to go in here, thanks, Bears versus Bulls. Appreciate that. You're awesome. And we say this, and we were talking about it this week, like Bears versus Bulls. I want to say 3 days, but maybe it is only like 2 times. Took a day off, and everyone's like, hey, where's Bears versus Bulls? But, always hardworking and a great member of our team here for sure. Manny Fresh says dump time. You know what? Even if the market pulls back here, even like load, PC load letter. There you go. There you go. See, like my chart's on vacation mode already. Even with a pullback, we were down at 503 this morning on that Apple story. Or the truth from also EU as well. It wasn't just about Apple. And we've managed to rally back, maybe not to go green, but it still has shown that when we gap down, it gets bought up at the open. And when that happens, what it usually means is you're in a bull market. So it's just true. Like bull markets where when you gap down, there's eager buyers willing to take it back into the upside. So even with this looking pretty bearish on the Qs, breaking this channel down, why do I like NVIDIA? Because NVIDIA didn't break the channel and this did. That shows relative strength in NVIDIA. But at the end of the day, we're still maybe just gently pulling back in. And I know what some of our guests would say, a lot of them, when you pull back, you like resistance turning into support. So I'd watch out pretty closely in the Qs for just above the 200 period if we get it. But that's all going to be determined, I think, by NVIDIA. Because it might be winding down earnings season, but you haven't ended earnings season until we get the big daddy. And don't forget and don't sleep on Marvell. That's one name that gets oftentimes missed. And it is so far down that's starting to look very appealing on Marvell. It's a risky stock, but been taking on the chin big time.
Yeah, this market's taking it on the chin right now, down 1% as we just start to cover out more of our position, man. I mean, the TQs has been a great one to end the day. They're now just touching down into VWAP. We have the high of the day into VWAP. I mean, looks like the market will hold above VWAP right now, shutting down around down 1%. Like I was saying, I'll be there on the recap show. We'll try to recap some of this for you, and then we'll kick off a very long and well-deserved long weekend there, which will be filled with some excitement, hopefully for many of you, including hopefully barbecues, grabbing a nice cold beer, playing with your kids, being with your family, watching some Mission Impossible, which I haven't seen any of the last 5 Mission Impossibles or something. By the way, these apples are actually pretty good.
I've seen the last one. What's weird is I haven't seen them all, but I watched the last one, so it's like, whatever, I missed a movie or two. But I don't think it's that kind of a thing. Like, this is the only one where it's literally like a part 1 and a part 2. I think the rest of them, you can miss the middle.
Part 2? I don't even know.
Yeah, well, it's like the last one, Dead Reckoning, or I think it is, and then this one's like a
Day of the Reckoning or something.
Or whatever.
I don't know.
But the other ones are all like very separate movies. Like, it doesn't matter that I missed a couple in the middle. Like, it's perfectly fine. I think it looks.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you don't really need to know the storyline. You're just sort of there for the action. It's crazy.
I wouldn't do any of that stuff, but good for him. More power to that dude.
Yeah, I don't think we have. That's the shape that guy's into is pretty incredible there for
that's
65-year-old,
remarkable.
However old
that's
that
insane.
guy is, Tom Cruise. But shout out to that. Right, more money than brains, maybe, but shoot your shot there. He loves doing it. All right, so again, more covers down there on the TQs. We're almost out of this one. Have a great weekend, everybody. All right, so there it is. Ford with a small little buy, just to see if there was anything. I know, Neil, we sort of talked about this. Above $10 right now, but the small buy downside there for Ford. Some of these names are going to be in trouble. But, you would think that with Ford already having said plants and everything set up in the United States, maybe they, if they could get their, together, which I guess, just produce more EVs, get that going. Ford, GM do have the advantage. Rivian possibly there with their plant being built in
what's
Georgia.
Interesting about Ford? I don't know how much you still look at swaggy stocks.
No, never.
Well, it's they're like the Wall Street bets mentions and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, just for the viewers that might not know swaggy stocks, of course we know it. Ford still is consistently one of the most talked about names.
That has to be some sort of a.
Which is,
It's like they put on corn.
Is it a troll?
Corn
Is it a troll?
Yes.
Or do people actually think this is a good buy? That's what kills me. Look, I'm surmising that it's a troll.
It's a troll.
I'm surmising it's a troll.
Okay, there it is. What's up, Long This, right now? Thank you so much for that super chat, man. We're going to get ready to go over to the other side right in a minute, but with only a minute and a half left. Long, I have no idea what you're going to say here. So you've been watching for 5 years. First of all, whatever your super chat is, we want to say thank you for that.
What up, Long?
And $50 too, man. Great super chat. Thank you so much. I've been watching for 5 years. I love the show, but the QQQ is not the futures, right? No, it's an ETF, right? The E-mini NQ. Yeah, we could definitely trade that. Well, you're not calling me out, and I don't think it sounds bad. Trading the TQQs is the same as trading the futures as far as the moves are concerned, everything like that. And I've already explained why I use this.
They're identical.
Is because this is the way the NQ looks on all this. And if you've been watching for that long, obviously we really do appreciate it. But I'll just show you, like it's a completely different game as far as the level 2 looks. But risk and chart and all that, it's identical. That's why
one more thing you should say.
Yeah.
Order entry is also different if you're an equity trader here in real trading.
There's only one gateway.
Well, I'm just saying order equity is so different in the way that you would actually trade it with stops and order entry. Any trader here, most traders here, I shouldn't say any, the vast majority.
The underlying of the Qs is the NQ.
Most real trading traders prefer, if they're equity traders, to trade the Qs or SPY than the futures. Well, sorry, it's the bell right now, Mike.
No, it's kind of like, now we're closed. It's kind of like just saying this. Oh, I still have some SMR right here, by the way. My stop, I just canceled. It was going to be, it doesn't matter. No, but it's just kind of like what we talk about when you're in IBIT, and these guys will be cheering on Bitcoin. It's like, obviously we know that IBIT is not Bitcoin, but the underlying underneath IBIT and what moves IBIT is Bitcoin, and that's the same thing with what moves the Qs. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing, right? Trading the Qs it's like when people say they're trading SPY.
But I'll say all the time, I'm going into IBIT here.
Juan's here.
And then I'll mention the price on Bitcoin because I know it's different. Like if I'm sitting at whatever price, I'll be like, oh, and by the way, that's 106 on Bitcoin.
Right.
Just to give you guys an idea, but you're still trading IBIT. And that's what everyone, or the BITX. That's another one that everyone loves to trade it. And it's whatever it might be. You just have to, it's a comfort zone thing. There's only 1 or 2 people, I think, that only exclusively trade the futures because they tend not to be equity traders. And just whatever you happen to be comfortable with.
Before I go, thanks there. We did miss Satya on the bell there. Thank you, Satya, for ringing that bell. And she's, like I said, going to be here next week as well, learning the ropes there, filling in for Adara. We want to thank her. This is the thing. Like if someone asked me, do I want to fill in for Adara? I'd say, hell no. The way Adara, she's an absolute machine. We want to thank Satya for trying to keep up. It's a very, watching those news stories and all of that kind of stuff, especially when we're covering it.
I hated doing I used to do it for Brendan. To be honest, I struggled badly doing it.
Yeah,
when I had to fill in for Brendan. It was
No, it's not struggling. I'm just saying it's.
No, but it was so different. It's a different world. I think she's doing a fantastic job. But a big shout out to her. I do want to say one last thing here, everybody. Make sure you buckle up for next week. Earnings are going to be huge. The last time I missed NVIDIA earnings, it was like the biggest move ever in the history of NVIDIA earnings. That was 2 years ago.
Oh.
I missed the...
not the most recent one.
No, I missed the NVIDIA earnings. The one that was insane. And then Marvell, the same week, it went like 40% or something. So if that is any kind of an indication... Me being away during NVIDIA's earnings weeks means it's going to be absolutely gigantic. Well, I hope it is for everybody.
Have a good weekend. We'll see if Obi can fill in for you fine. Hopefully he can.
Obi will be just fine. His station over there is all wrapped up anyway, so he'll want to sit here. Big shout out to the entire crew and everybody. But remember, you got Steve Talman coming through to be able to join Sean. He's always a fantastic guest, so make sure you give him a hootie. Ask him anything you want, for sure. He's always pretty accommodating and can talk about a wealth of names and a wealth of different sectors as well. So shout out to him from Trade the Pool. And a big shout out to the entire crew, not just Andre, not just Fabian, not just Ramin, not just our team, the boys on the midday, the Bash Brothers, Satya, Adara, Brendan, Sean, Bears versus Bulls. But big shout out to We have a contractor in here. I didn't catch his name. Unfortunately, I feel bad about that. I should have got his name. And to Mark, and to Rob, and to Randy, because there's a lot going on here for Studio 8. Like, I'm imagining when I come back in a couple of weeks, there's going to be like a hole in that wall, and all kinds of stuff is going to be different. So all these changes so we can make a better show for you guys. That's what it's all about. It's about making it bigger and better. And we got some pretty exciting things coming through. So hopefully when I see you guys in 2 weeks, it's going to be really, really, it's already cool around here, but even more amazing. So everyone enjoy. But for now, you don't really have to do anything. You just got to sit back, relax. Hey, it's the start of Memorial Day weekend. If you want to crack one, you can do that as well. Might as well enjoy it. And we'll fire you guys off to the market recap with Sean.
Hi, what's up, everybody? Thank you for sticking with us here for the night. And as Neil said, man, I'm not sure how many of you are going to be here with us because it is Memorial Day weekend. So shout out to everybody. Thank you for being with us all week long. And it's been a pretty doozy of a day, that is for sure. Lots to talk about. We have uranium names moving. We had SMR taking out all-time highs on that name. So that's absolutely fantastic. We had, is everything okay, Andre? Yep, okay, good. We had gold upside today again, another 2.9%, 2.19% on gold. Nasdaq, we'll talk about where that finished the day. The S&P 500 as well. Some of the banking sectors moving around. We had oil. We had the new news there. Here's XME right here. The metals and mining ETF. We're just having a quick look at that. Up 3% there today as we continue to go. And then U.S. Steel, the new story here where Donald Trump says, hey, you know what? The deal's fine, but we're not going anywhere. Everything's still going to be manufactured here. So I don't know what Nippon and what exactly that story is. We're going to figure that out heading into next week, but we all got nervous that that deal was squashed, and then it was kind of confirmed upside there that, hey, the deal is fine, but U.S. Steel is staying right here in the good old USA, according to Mr. Donald Trump. So again, thank you all for joining. It's just myself here tonight. We will have Steve coming through pretty soon from Trade the Pool, I hope, and we'll be going over some ideas. Maybe he has some that we can talk about. Today, SMH, like, big move down there as we get worried about sort of those chip curbs as Trump started today talking all about Apple. And what we were talking about there was, hey, look, anything not produced in the United States, and yes, we're looking at you, the largest taxpayer in American history, Apple, you're not getting a break on anything either. And that's going to be 25% on everything brought back here and sold, all electronics. So there goes Apple to the downside. That happened about, I think I was just like getting ready to come in here, hopping out of the shower. I looked at my phone and was like, oh God, we have a problem here. And then the Nasdaq and Apple, nice downside play there. I thought Tim Cook and Donald Trump were going to start playing nice a little bit, but it looks like no. And all day we just kept on. And it's funny because we'll be underneath our posted 196 level to go short on the note, but we still wind up putting this in a big-time loser column because we were trying to short it early, but look what happened early. The market really got going. I almost thought the Nasdaq was going to go green at one point. There, we'll review the Nasdaq in a minute, but Apple continued its downside push pretty much all afternoon and goes out, I'm not going to say at the low, but at the open market low besides that very first candle where we started to go up the upside and just rip up upside. That low of 193, let's see where we open up on Tuesday. And just some cleaning up here. We are, even though we are located here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, it is a holiday for Trader TV Live. We take off all U.S. Holidays, so we are not here for Memorial Day. We'll see everybody on Tuesday. I've got brunch planned with the wife. Send those kids to school. That's sort of the best part about having, got some apple stuck in my teeth here. That's part of the best part. That apple was really good. Those plums have been, but I'm going to say thank you to Randy for hitting up that apple there. Ramin and I were filming a little bit during lunchtime there and didn't get to have it. So we had it right there, a little bit, couple bites. Okay, who cares about that? At the end of the day, enjoy your day off no matter what you're doing. We'll say bye to Neil as I hear him sneeze one last time. He's going to be heading off to Budapest one last time this week. I mean, not one last time forever. We're not getting rid of Neil for at least another year, okay? So there it is, but downside action there for Apple today, needless to say. Okay, the Qs, right? Here goes the triple Qs. So again, the Nasdaq will go down out about a 1% here today. Nice downside action there. And it all just started early, right? The Nasdaq has been really bullish and in a bull market from those lows. I take this out of my ear right here. We're not going to be having any earnings. I don't need Benzinga in the air. From $400, all you need is 20%, right, to consider a bull market. So if that bottom was 4,408, well, you're at 5 something now. So you don't even have to use the 20%. You're almost 30% higher right there. 400 to 520 is 30%. So that's a huge move to the upside right there for the Nasdaq. I was writing down on the sticky note last week that things were feeling a little toppy there, but it doesn't really matter. It's a little bit of a pullback. A lot of that started this week though, right? So some nice pullbacks into this week. You can even look at its brethren here, spiders, same kind of move to the downside now. It's still a big play on the overall market. Let's see if we can hold the 200 period. I'm going to ask Steve about this, but I'm sort of already know what he's going to say because we've talked about the 200 period before a couple times. Yeah, Fabian, turn it on so he can call in here. Again, he's probably knocking on the door right now. But that 576, let's just see if it holds. Next week's going to be, as Neil said, we've got NVIDIA earnings. And there's one more big name. There's Marvell, but I think, Neil, there's one more too that we talked about. It was a day or two after NVIDIA. It might be Marvell, but I think there was one more there, not just in the chip space, but another big name coming through. It's not Uber, is it? But anyways, another big name coming next week as well. So we'll wait to see what happens with the spiders, right, on that play. We talked a little bit of XLF. It was nice to see them starting to go a little bit, but there's the pullback again. If you're ever looking, I got out of some SMR, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Some of these plays, today's the news, right? Donald Trump signs there. You check out URA, the biggest day for URA that I've ever seen, gapping up here 11.5%. This is a big ETF holding names like Oklo, like SMR, like Nano Nuclear, NNE. A lot of these names going to the upside there today. Here's SMR. We have making some jokes. I guess it didn't take out all-time highs. Sorry, I said it did. That was 32.25. We didn't get that high. We got as high as 31.30. Look at it right now in the after hours. Now back down below 30 or in and around $30. This is officially where I got out of, I think it was 3/4 of my position. We've just seen it hit these highs before. Remember, these guys still a negative EPS. We talked about that. Minus 11 cents. So if you're a stock right now in this environment and you're getting some executive orders, you're getting some push-throughs, I think it might be time to maybe think about, hey, take advantage of this most recent bump. Let's wait for their next earnings call, which we already had May 12th. So they're already through. There's that big line right there. It wasn't a great call, but you know, you're getting upside there from their earnings play. And we did have Money Mitch on here talking all about nuclear names a while back, saying it might have been the next play, nuclear and quantum. My question is, for everybody else, what is the next play? Right? Most of these names have already jumped up many, many times here over the last little while. I do want to thank all 3,300 of you, man. I know it's 4:11. I'm doing this by myself. We definitely are been missing Adara the last couple of days. She'll be back on Thursday. We want to big shout out Satya for joining us. Welcome back, Bears vs. Bulls. You were definitely missed as well as we go through, you know, just vacation time here again. Adara on vacation. Now Neil next week. I don't have any time booked off at all. I have a couple weekends in the summer where we have baseball tournaments. I'll probably take something off in November. I don't know. I want to go somewhere warm. Like my kids are now, they've only been to the beach once in their life, and they're 10 and 13. So I'm definitely missing out some opportunities there. I saw Brian Shannon was down at the Florida Keys. He was sending me some pictures there. How about that? That's not a bad place to go. I think we'll do that there. So yeah, Neil's going to Budapest. So I was in Budapest about 25 years ago. My journey started here at Real Trading 25 years ago. When I was fresh out of university, I came as a prop trader, worked prop for about a year or so, then was plucked by management off the floor, trained on risk management systems, trained on back office stuff. That's where I hired Neil, brought him back in, brought him into the business, as well as many other traders, hired them and started training everybody out, and then traveled the world. And that's where we went to Budapest, opening up one of our first offices outside of Canada in Budapest, and still an office over there. So what our owner does here at Real Trading is sends all of us that have been working here for 5+ years, various vacation spots around the world where he owns property. So one of them is in Budapest. So that's why Neil's going there, and I'm going to be going there soon as well. Bring the kids, right? We went to Rome, Paris, Budapest. Did not take the kids to Paris. Would love to go back to Paris. I don't know. Put one of the ideal spots for vacation, though. I do want to go to Thailand. I think that'll be awesome. I visited Singapore back in my young days, and I helped open a real trading office in Singapore. That was a lot of fun. No better seafood ever that I've had, obviously. I think that's pretty obvious and easy to say than Singapore. Man, those shrimp there, incredible there. I still have that. There's the lion with the spitting... There's it's not merlion, but I think maybe it is mandelion, there in Singapore. Great times. Anyways, okay. I did want to look at Eli Lilly. Nice downside push there. Everything all good, Fabian? Yeah, it looks like he's okay. Okay, good. Looks like Steve is going to be in the building here in a couple minutes. Eli Lilly. So I did put some money to work, a complete fail, taking some money out of Google and putting it into Eli Lilly, just overweighted in the space as far as tech goes. Eli Lilly, a bad week, right? A bad couple weeks here for Eli Lilly as we get right back into some of these lows. I believe that they do have that wonder drug, performing much better than Novo Nordisk. And then Hims and Hers, again, there was an announcement there with Wegovy for Hims and Hers. They're able to do a certain amount of dosages now per month or per week. And I just think that as we get going and more discoveries about some of these GLP-1s, Eli Lilly in the right space right there. If they can ever get the oral going on that, I do believe that just makes it just such a big runway to the top end there for Eli Lilly. Whether or not we get back to $1,000, I don't know. But there's so many topping charts out there. Eli Lilly, definitely one of those, man. I mean, to have gotten out at 1,000 and rebought back here at 700. The idea is these levels go all the way back into November of 24. So it's still not that long ago. But then if you push back later, it goes back to about a year. So if you closed your eyes, this is why I got out of some SMR, out of some Google. I got out of some Palantir as well. Like if you just bought Eli Lilly, basically, not even, this is sort of when we just started to get going, you were long at 720, right? Thank you, Fabian. And then you didn't get anything out. Now you're right back to 720 again. So I do think that there has to be some topside magic, and you have to cover up some of your positions. That leads me to believe, like a Palantir, we got out at 130.30, which turns out to be one of the tops. But I just kept on seeing these tops happen, and was like, I'm not letting this happen again. We held our position from 125 down to $60. All the way back to 125 again. We got to get something out if that happens, right? No matter how much you love a name, there's always other opportunities out there, which is why I go into Big Bear AI. We talked about Big Bear AI. I'm in this name. I actually like this name, and I just think it's coiling up, right? I'm going to get Steve's opinion on Big Bear AI in a couple minutes. So, Steve, if you're listening, get ready for BBAI. I do want to talk a little bit about that as well. All right, and then just on a runner, I see some people in the chat talking about IMNN, and there it is, man. This was a good trade for us today, but I don't have any outs up here. If you held this into the after hours, take advantage immediately of this trade. Some brokers will let you trade through 5:30. Most of these names will go into the night. I don't know what a blue ocean or anything like will look like. They probably won't have this symbol on it, but I would think about looking to get something out because, again, it's a long weekend. Is this name still going to be on people's mind on Tuesday? IMNN, a great move higher right now. So, yeah, there it goes, man. Nice move there to the upside on this name. So, all right, I mean, I'm ready if he's ready, Fabian. All right, let's bring on our guest trader of the evening. Hey, Steve, how are you doing?
Hey, doing well. How's it going?
It's not going too bad. What a wild week, man. Like, I don't know, I'm losing more and more hair, which is never a good thing. Like, just like we're breaking tops, then we're fading back out. We've got a nice little level now on the S&P 500 at the 200 period moving average. I want to talk to you about that as well. Different names, NVIDIA, like President Trump today on U.S. Steel, just dropping some stories there about letter X today. Amazon the other day, Apple this morning. It's like if you go to bed thinking there's going to be nothing to trade, well, you may have nightmares because every single day this market comes in and gives us something else to play. I don't know about you, but how was your week going? Ours was pretty chaotic.
Oh yeah, chaotic is a good word for it. Let's call it chaotic good on the the axis there. A lot of moving parts, like you're saying, a lot of really interesting sectoral rotations and things coming out that are really, really setting up nicely or breaking out right now. So I'm having fun. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, we're having a lot of fun, and we want to thank you for coming on again. We did record number of viewers, over 100,000 unique views daily here on Trader TV Live. So we want to thank you for coming on here again today and helping with that. And hopefully everybody, are you still doing your stream after the show?
Yeah, I'll be doing a webinar on trading psychology this time, so it'll be fun. But congrats on
I think I need to see a psychologist,
amazing.
that's for sure. Okay, so I don't know if you heard me about Big Bear AI. I do see that you have SPY on your screen as well. This is a name for me on Big Bear AI on the daily chart. Here they did have a decent report. They did fade into the 200 period. For me, it's an interesting name. I don't want to call this a baby Palantir, but again, they have AI in the name, so we think that this could go. It does have a good short float as well, 25% on this. I just want to get your opinion because for me, I've been buying it. I bought it at 5, I bought it at 4, and I bought it at 3. So I have an average price a little under where we are right now in and about this $4 mark. But it's scaring me because we keep bumping our head against $4. Still not making any money. I do like to buy a stock once they turn profitable. But you seeing anything on the chart here that I might be missing? Is it a buy yet? Is there a level you want to look for here? Any opinions on Big Bear AI? I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a fun name, right? These AI basket names. You have BBAI, you have AI, and you have SON, and what is it? SON, SOUN, sound.
Yep, SoundHound.
So yeah, these trifecta are a really fun basket to keep an eye on. They also have a lot of interplay, so you can watch price action between them and see where the money's kind of flowing. As for this chart, I like it. I think that it's basing nicely. So essentially, we kind of had this breakout from this long base. You know, we did the parabolic move up.
Yep.
And now we're kind of rebasing on this level of support. If you look on the left side here, you'll see this giant volume shelf that we're just starting to kind of try to push out of. Looks like 1, 2, 3 attempts, and it's still holding. So to me, this is very constructive. It's holding the 9-day EMA, caught the 200 very nicely. I think this is a buy.
Ooh,
whole sector.
I like it. All right, I definitely like that one because yeah, it's a buy for me too. I do like it in this area. Okay, look, we talked about a little bit of wreckage, not wreckage, but this wasn't a great week as the market did pull back down in. If we come over to and we are sharing your chart, so great, thank you for showing that right there. And I know you have an idea for spiders, but here's my chart right here. We did get as high as 594, and then really just fell off of there, right? There is some green days in here, but we do get covered up by a big red day that happened, of course, on the 21st. And now today, we do come right into 576 and hold this 200 period on the SPY. So we do have a lot of traders here that are using maybe, you know, weekly dated contracts to maybe calls, puts, things like that. Are there any levels that you're looking at right now? I'm thinking we can hold this 200 period, but that's kind of what the 200 period is, right? It's a decision mark. So we're going to wait to see if we can go over under that. Let's talk about the SPY and what does Steve think?
Absolutely. I love it. So a few really important things happened this week that a lot of people aren't talking about that I kind of want to put on your radar here.
Yep.
So there was a couple very key cyclical indicators, not cyclical indicators, but cycles that are playing out. And what I mean by that is we are 90 calendar days from the last all-time high. 90 days was the 20th. And then we are 45 days, calendar days here, from the low. And that was on Thursday. So very often these kind of levels or time cycles are very pivotal. It's kind of like Gann theory, but
right.
The gist is that you'll often see rotations then or reversals then. So I mean, lo and behold, we hit the target. This was in my newsletter. Watch for a reversal on this day, and we started to get it. So now we're at the 200. Like you said, it's a pivotal moment. It's very much we got to wait and see what the market does at the 200. So far, it opened right there and posted a decent candle off of it. But zooming in here, I just want to highlight, ever since this trend change, we've had top wicks every single day. So I'm sticking with my thesis that I think we need to pull back a little more. The structure on the way up was not very solid. We have a big gap to still refill under the 200 and even some more underneath. So I'm not calling for new lows, but I am saying that I'm not ready to buy the indices here.
Yeah, no, and I think that was part of the story that I was talking about live on the show today, is trying to get out of some names, build up a little bit of cash, because I do want to buy into either the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, or even something like a Berkshire, right? Something that is very index related. You talked earlier, and I'm going to leave it up to you, open book here, for you to talk about whatever you want. But you mentioned that there was some interesting sector rotations happening this week, and maybe something that had caught your eye. I know there's a big sector that was booming today, and pardon the pun for the booming part of it, because we hope that that doesn't happen to too many of these reactors and things like that. But is there a sector that you want to talk about? Any highlights that maybe you had seen that our viewers may be interested in?
Absolutely. So first, I'll really briefly talk about the sectors that I think have been popping and for me are time to take profit in. So if anybody recalls, last week I was very bullish on QBTS. Yep. And I'm gonna take my little victory lap here. We just about hit my $20 target. We came a little short and posted top wick, so I took profit at let's call it the 19 handle, right around there. Okay. So I'm out of this trade. I think that it could still have legs, but just for me, when the market is running hot and the market is looking for areas of underperformance, of laggards to kind of dump money into to catch up, and you get these massive moves on stuff like quantum, let's be real, it's very speculative. This is not the immediate future. And then you start to see the indices start to waver. So for me, this is kind of like okay, potentially last push of this wave up. And now I'm starting to look into the new areas that are coming up. So as you mentioned, nuclear, very hot. I'm very interested in it. I like CEG as the kind of blue chip here. Okay. It broke out of a really tight flag. It's got nice targets above in these all-time high levels. And on a higher time frame chart, this thing's just getting started. I think that this is going to be a megaphone breakout. So I'm a big proponent of CEG. I also like NNE. This one's pretty nice. And one speculative one to put on your watch list is GSRT. And this is a it's an interesting one. It's actually trading relatively close to NAV, which is, I believe, 1030 to 1040. So the risk actually isn't that high, and there's a lot of upside. As you can see by this candle, there's going to be some volatility and some shake and bake, but I took a starter today, and I also have a CEG as well.
Do we know what GSRT is? Because that's just a SPAC. So I was just wondering if there was, because it's an acquisition corp, right? That's why it's trading at that $10, which is why it's so close to NAV there. So we'll do some more research on GSRT, but obviously looks like some nuclear names are going to be taking over that symbol. So yeah, good little look there. Yeah, I like quantum. I think you're right about that, but it is many, many years down the road. And we did see also another bump up in Google this week as well. So maybe I can ask you a little bit about that. I do think that there is some negative stories about Google, which is why I did trim my position. I am worried about the changing search environment, right? I mean, most of us now are using LLM. I mean, I don't know, I don't want to say most of us, but many people are using large language models, using a ChatGPT or Perplexity or something like that to answer simple questions that we may have used Google before in the past. And we're not seeing any ads right now too much on these LLMs. So Google did have their Google I/O event. I don't know if you were able to see anything there. There were some pretty cool things. I mean, but I don't know if it was a needle changer at all. And right now, in order to participate in a lot of this, it's like $250 a month to get part of their environment and into their ecosystem. So Google right here on a daily, it does turn almost around from that 200 period moving average. If we can go to this, Fabian, that's it right there at 171. That was, look, it broke through, right? It went to 176, but we do cover that up and now go underneath. Did I make a mistake selling some Google up at these levels? What are you thinking about this name, as it's been pretty hot lately?
No, Sean, I think you made a great call to trim some there. So basically my outlook on Google is I do think the event was bullish. I didn't get to catch the details, but my friends who are more macro-oriented or fundamentals-oriented seem to respond very positively to it. The market seemed to respond positively to it initially, but then, as always, technicals took over. Don't you love it when you have an old line on your chart and it just responds perfectly? Yeah, so this is basically the base of a big volume shelf, and it tried to surge above and break out, and it got kind of bopped down there, tried to hold the 200-day and rejected just to fill this gap, though. So for me, I use, whoops, wrong indicator there. I use a sort of trigger system. There it is. And essentially this jagged purple line represents the weekly kind of support or resistance. So this is the level I'm watching here, this 168 to 170 handle. So just kind of that area between the 200 and this current level. Right. So I personally think longer term, we are starting to base out here. Let me clean that up for y'all. I think we're starting to kind of cup out here, and essentially we will be seeing a large cup and handle play out. I think that it's kind of sloppy with this overshoot. I think it's similar to Uber's handle in that regard, where it'll probably do something up, down, and really mess with people before it really makes the move. But I think long-term it's great, but short-term you recognize the top. You were weary over the 200. You got a gold star from Steve there.
All right, good. We'll take that. All day. There's people that are in BBAI now, so I hope we didn't send them into this. Hey, look, guys, we're just talking about stock, okay? You can buy it on your own risk or not here. All right, I'm going to get you into another name. Like you said, you nailed Quantum last week. We'll see if there's another one. CEG, it sounds like you're very positive on. But one quick thing before I let you go, because we got to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Bitcoin cranks through that all-time high, and depending on where you're looking, it looks like right here on Binance, they're indicating 11,198 right there, so almost into 12,000. Again, just yesterday, overnight, I guess it made that move. I don't know, man. I mean, just looking at a daily chart, which is what we have right here, this looks pretty good to me. Breaking out the highs, basing out right here between 100. I bought some on Monday at 103, which turns out to be a pretty good buy, it looks like. And right now, although we fall back in today, we're at 108. I just think like we based out here, right, for about 2 weeks. Then we did the same kind of a base a little bit higher, and now we're breaking through the all-time highs. So for me, I think you can buy maybe here at 100, look at 90 if it comes back in. I mean, Bitcoin looks pretty healthy to me at these levels, regardless of what everybody thinks. If we just look at this as a chart, what are you thinking about Bitcoin? Forget about all the macro stuff, but the chart looks pretty healthy. You can go macro if you want, but I think chart-wise, it's a pretty good look right now, breaking higher. As a bull and a hodler, I don't plan on selling any. I just want to buy more. I think Bitcoin's a winner.
You're speaking my language, brother. I couldn't agree more. I think that it's an amazing chart, an amazing asset to hold, at least a smaller percentage of your portfolio in, or larger. You know, you define your own risk. I love it. I've been pretty oversized, and I'm loving life right now.
Right.
But I'll be honest, this expansion happened faster than I thought. It's really explosive. So I took another quarter of my position off at all-time highs, and I'm just letting a quarter run. But I'm in from 75 or 79. So
yeah, what a great.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, what a great level down there. I mean, we were actually talking about that on the show. There's a funny bet here with a couple of the hosts on the show. Would it get before Sunday night, which is this coming Sunday, over 125? The guy thought he was cooked when it was down there at 70, right? And now all of a sudden, there's like 2 more days to go. I don't think we get to 125 this weekend, but, you know, it would be very, very interesting to do that. All right, look, it's 4:30. Is there a name that maybe we didn't get to, or one more thing? And I'm going to let you plug your stream and anything you do want to as well. If there's nothing, I mean, I think we covered a lot. Is there anything you want to leave with, another idea maybe that we could talk to you about next Friday, or anything in that realm that we didn't cover that you want to look at?
Sure. I mean, I know I'm a broken record, but the top of my focus list right now is the nuclear space. I think CEG's chart looks incredible. Perfect. And the fundamentals are amazing. So if there's one name, it would have to be CEG there.
All right, we like that one. And I did hit that little, you see on the screen there, we have some calculations going through. I loved what you were talking about on the chart there with CEG, so we'll do that again. All right, so you're here representing Trade the Pool. I'm an analyst with Trade the Pool. We want to thank Trade the Pool for having you on, and thank you for coming on as well. You mentioned there's a stream. Let's do that. Let's talk about that and maybe where our traders could find you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So on Trade the Pool's YouTube channel, you can look right under the live tab and you'll see my webinar. It'll be up in about 9 minutes.
Okay.
If all goes as planned. 9 to 15 very tops. And yeah, we'll be going for about 45 minutes to an hour talking about trading psychology. We're going to get into a lot of the kind of what makes us tick, and kind of we're tackling the 80% of trading that goes on between our ears, right? So I think it'll be really good for everybody. It was great for me to refresh this stuff as I was working on this. So you can catch me there. You can catch me Tuesdays on Trade the Pool's live trading stream, and you can always catch me at my Discord as well. My Discord server, you can find it on my Twitter. My Twitter is Justy Trades, JUSTY Trades. Thanks so much.
Perfect, Steve. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Happy Memorial Day over there, and we'll sure that some of our followers will follow you over to that stream. Thank you, Steve, and that's your Trader Talk for the week. All right, man. Quickly here, let's just do a quick little roll call. I want to thank everybody for staying with us real late right now. Again, a big thanks to Trade the Pool. You know, Steve just has some great ideas, and I mean, I love the chart talk with a guy like that. So thank you so much for coming through one more time. Look, it's the same people. Thank you to Mike DeRider that's still here with us, and I know we're losing some viewers, that's for sure, as we get on the day. I'm tired. You must be tired as well. Come over to the screen, Fabian. I just want to say hi to a couple people here. What's up, Tia? Thank you so much for always your kind word, right? I mean, that's for sure. Thanks to Wisp Away. Norm Special is here as well. Bears versus Bulls, you nailed that one. Traders stay late, right? Whether or not it's Neil, myself, Adara, any of us, we want to thank you for staying late because there's better things that you could do once this market is closed. But thank you so much again to everybody. Learning with Care, God Emperor as well. Michelle Mir, hey, haven't seen you in a while, but you're always here as well. Thank you, Michelle. Halim's Damien is here. Mike DeRider is always here. The Tranquil channel's here. Dijon Mustard here as well. Bob Curran, Jennifer Sierra right there. Mike DeRider, Finch Jane, Cowboy Mike, Zion Lala. What's up, Zion Lala? Again, I see you on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Eerie Pages as well. Mean Gene, Pug Life, everything like that. I'm seeing my wife is calling. That must mean I have to go. Thank you so much to everybody. Again, Fabian, thank you for staying late. Thank you for everybody's this week, man. I'm not going to name everybody again. Thank you to our Trader TV family. It's been a great one. No matter what you do this weekend, make sure you have a lot of fun and do it safely. It's going to be a great 3-day weekend. I hope the weather stays nice, and I hope you're able to enjoy it. For everybody here at Trader TV Live, my name is Sean, and I'll see you guys bright and early on Tuesday at 8:30. Ciao. I'll see you then. You found the best trading show on the planet. So what are you going to do now? Simple. Hit the like, subscribe, and share it. It's Trader TV Live. We're here, baby.